Okay. Switch version? Yes. I do not own the Wii U version, so I am playing the Switch version. Hi! I do not usually do week streams, so it might be somewhat of a surprise, but yeah, we're here. We're playing Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, because the game came out 10 years ago today. I think the US release date was later. I think it came out around the 20th of February in the US, but in Japan it came out on the 13th of February. While we're in cutscene though, let me know. I'm guessing I'm gonna need to raise the game audio a little bit just looking at the levels. But, obviously I'm not listening to the stream, I can only play the game. So tell me how the game sounds compared to me. We'll try to raise the game audio a little bit. Okay. I've raised it a little bit. If I need to raise it more or less, I will try to update it as I go through the game. Now I hate Lego Movie 2. I'm guessing 2019 is just a complete trash year for me. Well, in terms of my life, 2019 is probably one of my best years, honestly. A lot of really good stuff happened to me in 2019. That is a year that I look upon quite fondly. But if you mean strictly in terms of movies, I mean, it wasn't all trash. It was just a lot of the movies I saw, but there were some things I quite liked that came out in 2019. But Disney especially had a terrible year. Absolutely awful, awful 2019. Bad year to be Disney. Well, I mean, I guess not really, because every single one of those movies cracked $1 billion in the box office. So I suppose it's not technically a bad year to be Disney. But as far as quality is concerned, yeah. Disney had 0 good movies in 2019. Yeah, not even one. Not a single one. In 2019, we had Toy Story 4 and Avengers Endgame. We also had Rise of Skywalker, Frozen 2, the Lion King remake, and the Aladdin remake, and also the Maleficent sequel remake. Captain Marvel came out that year. I'm probably forgetting some stuff. Far From Home. Yeah. I used to like Far From Home. I do not like Far From Home that much anymore. But I mean, that's just the case with me and like all MCU-related properties. How to Train Your Dragon 3 was good. I liked How to Train Your Dragon 3. I don't know if I'd still like. I mean, the thing is, my experience watching How to Train Your Dragon 3 in theaters was kind of skewed because there was a really obnoxious blue light on my screen the entire time. There was something wrong with the projector, I'm pretty sure, and they never got it fixed. That also happened when I saw the Lego Movie. There was a really obnoxious blue light that was shining on the screen the entire time. Oh, well, sorry, not the entire time. It was just for the opening trailer. Someone went out and told the staff about it, like, hey, you guys gotta fix this, because I'm not watching the Lego Movie like this. I didn't do that, because I was 12 years old. Actually, not even, no, I was still 11 when that movie came out. But there were obviously people there that were willing to fix it, so they got that all sorted out, and we got to actually enjoy the Lego Movie without having to deal with an obnoxious blue screen. But that didn't happen. With How to Train Your Dragon 3, they never actually fixed it, so I just had to watch that on the screen the entire time. But aside from that, I did still enjoy the movie. I just don't know. I really want to go back and rewatch the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. Oh, that's not correct. No. That was not exactly the angle I wanted to jump at there. I want to rewatch that trilogy and see how I think of them now. See how my thoughts compare to how they were when I first watched them. Because I'm extensively familiar with a lot of Disney Pixar stuff, but DreamWorks is a studio that I watched some of the movies as a kid, but I wasn't as religiously invested in watching all of them like I was with Disney stuff. So I've seen How to Train Your Dragon, the first one, like maybe 2 or 3 times. The second one, probably the same 2 or 3 times. The third one I've only ever seen once. I watched it that once in the theater and then never again after that point. And as per usual, I will try my best to keep an eye on chat. But since this game is a very active gameplay-focused experience, I won't be able to read as often as I would for other things. So, I apologize if I miss your message. I will try my best to keep up with them as they come. Will there be a review when Toy Story 5 comes out? You can bet your ass there will be. I am so intensely curious what they can possibly do with Toy Story 5, what it's gonna look like. I can't wait to see it. Like, I actually just can't wait. Okay, let's use this. I don't remember finding this that useful in my first playthrough, but I'll try to get a little more use out of it this time, because it could be good for extra lives. Like, if there's a lot of enemies on screen, it'd be nice to get some free extra lives. Although I don't think I really took advantage of that at all. How will Lego Movie 2 rank in my worst movies list, considering I'm starting to hate that movie now? I have no idea, honestly. I have no idea. I have something of an idea of what my best movies and best games lists would look like, now that I mean, I don't know them that well, but I have a better idea, comparatively speaking, what those lists would look like. Whereas worst movies and worst games list, no idea. I haven't even begun to try to reconstruct those lists. But fundamentally, the point being, those lists are no longer accurate in any discernible way of what I've seen. I've seen too many great things, and I've seen too much crap in the last year and a half for those lists to be considered even remotely accurate to how I would actually rank things. This is my first Donkey Kong game. No. I streamed games 1 and 2 in 2022. And then I didn't stream the third one, but I did stream the first two. I played through Returns, and I played through Tropical Freeze. So no, this is not my first. I've played all of them except Donkey Kong 64. I've been told not to play that one, and so I will not. I will not play that game. Ow. I will not play that game. Trevor about to do the 80% speedrun. I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, it is true that it is in my best interest to finish this game somewhat expediently, because I only blocked off about 4 hours today to play this. Running the numbers, my LP came just short of 4 hours in total, so I figure I would probably be able, as long as I play better than I did back then, I should be able to get through this in 4 hours, because that's all the time I've allocated today. But I'm not going to rush through it. I'm definitely not going to be employing any speedrunning tactics. I should look up speedruns of this game. This game is, the movement of this game definitely seems like it would be very conducive to a massive speedrunning community. Oh yeah, and of course I'm not going to be going for all the 100% puzzle pieces and all that stuff. There's also the spin-offs. Oh, okay, yeah, I mean, I haven't played any of the spin-offs either, but of the main games, 64 is the one I haven't played, but I haven't played the Mario vs. Donkey Kong stuff, or Barrel Blast, or Diddy Kong Racing, or anything like that. Copyright is a bitch. Oh, it sure is. Have I ever seen the Tron? No, I've never seen Tron. My only exposure to Tron is people comparing the new test track overlay that they did in, like, 2011, I think. They overhauled Test Track at some point. I don't remember if it was 2011 or around that point, but at some point they overhauled Test Track at Disney World from being a sort of a crash test dummy thing, where it's like you're actually putting a real vehicle through the paces on a test course to make sure it's suitable for the road. They overhauled that into a more futuristic style thing. And people have dubbed that the Tron overhaul for Test Track, so I know that. And then, of course, I know Ralph Breaks the Internet, they go into the Tron game. And I believe Tron was also a source of inspiration for the animators at Disney back in the day. Like, they showed all the animators Tron, and they's like, let's do something like this. I remember hearing about that in the Pixar Story documentary. Beyond that, I have no familiarity with Tron. Is this game among my top 20 games now? Yes. And well, I guess I'm waiting until we finish today's playthrough to fully reassess my feelings on it. but I definitely love playing this game. The movement especially. I mean, the key part of any platformer is a solid movement system, and this game certainly has that. But also, it's just, it has probably some of, if not the most creative level design I've seen in a platformer, which in and of itself is huge. Is a huge aspect of it. Is my real name Trevor? Yes. That is not just a stage name. Ow. I did not intend to land there. I would like that heart. Okay, well, I got the heart, but I also lost one in the process, so it wasn't really worth the hassle to get it. And my last name is in fact Magic. Yes, of course. That part is definitely not just, ow, a stage name. That definitely didn't just accidentally end up becoming a thing because of Famicom Detective Club and me needing to list the first name and a last name. Oops. Got a little too aggressive with that. Let's see if I can finish the game with more lives than I finished my original playthrough with. Because I think my original playthrough, I ended up game overing like 20 times or something. So let's hope we can finish the game with less than that. And also, you know, more lives. You're not a fan of either LEGO Movie game, but at least LEGO Movie 2, the game tries something unique, while LEGO Movie 1 game should be renamed to Now That's What I Call a LEGO Game. I don't really care if the game tries something unique if what it tries ends up being crap. Also, I don't even know if I can call it unique, because I'm pretty sure LEGO Movie 2 just ends up being... like, it feels like they just copy-pasted the engine from LEGO Worlds, and then they turned that into a full game. Not to its benefit at all. That game got... like, usually LEGO games do not get trashed in reviews. The most that they'll get is like, yeah, that's a 7 or a 6. On like the Metascore usually hovers even for the less good games, they tend to hover around that point. LEGO Movie 2 got trashed in reviews, rightfully so. It's terrible. I don't really think that highly of the first game, not because the first game is bad, just because it's like it's not a LEGO game that I would put among the best of the best. But I'd still take it over the LEGO Movie 2 game. When I do this 100%, will I be on stream? Yes, I do plan to finish this 100% on stream. I will not be 100%ing the game today on stream, but I do intend to finish it 100% on stream. That I do intend to do. I just don't have the time. I wanted to... my choices were wait until I had more time to 100% it all in one day and miss the anniversary, or cover the game for the anniversary just with the knowledge that I will not be doing it 100%. I chose that option. I chose to play the game today. Plus, I wanted to replay it anyway, just casually to get to better grips with the mechanics before I go for 100%. Favorite Donkey Kong character? I feel like the obvious answer is Funky Kong, but I'm quite fond of Diddy Kong. And I guess that's one of the things about this game that's kind of annoying, is that I don't really see the benefit of picking Diddy over Dixie in any situation. Like, Dixie just seems like an objectively better Diddy to have with you. Of course, I do still pick Diddy from time to time, just because I want to, because I like Diddy Kong. But mechanically, I don't see what benefit he brings to the table that Dixie doesn't, because Dixie has his hover ability with the added bonus of giving you a little lift in the air. I guess if you don't want that airlift and you just want a straight hover, then that's the appeal, but I still don't really see when that would be something you would want. Well, like when that would be tactically advantageous to you, I guess. Hope I don't die at the final boss a bajillion times. I hope so too. I indeed hope that I don't die at the final boss a bajillion times. Because, I mean, now that I'm more familiar with it, I don't think it'll be as big of a hassle. Now that I know how the boss works, it should be better. How would I rate LEGO Movie 2 from a scale of 1 to 10? The game, I don't know. The movie, I'm hovering between a 3 and a 4. I said 4 in the commentary, now I'm thinking about maybe lowering it to a 3 after editing the commentary and having to look at that movie for way longer than I would have liked to. I'm hovering around a 3. I don't know. It's between a 3 and a 4. Well, let's call it even. We'll split the middle and say 3.5 out of 10. Ever tried Jungle Beach? No. Can't say I'm familiar with that one. I think the idea was Dixie was the sort of pseudo-easy mode in the original before they put Funky in the game. That being said, you actually prefer Diddy over Dixie because you don't lose momentum. I guess that is sort of, that's kind of what I was talking about, where the idea is that if you don't want to have that gust of wind lift you up and you just want to cruise right across, then that's the appeal of Dixie. But honestly, like, most of the time I feel like the difference there isn't that substantial. I feel like more often than not, you'll want that extra airlift than you will want that steady boost of that steady boost of momentum. Am I married? No, I am not. I had to think for a second. I'm getting to the point where I actually had to think of how old I am, which is scary. But I am 21 years old. I am most decidedly not married. Miss Magic shows up. Oh, actually, I guess it would be Mrs. Magic. Jungle Beat is a departure from traditional Donkey Kong. In the GameCube, you get the bongo controls, and on Wii, the motion controls for punches. Motion controls, my favorite thing in the world. Well, I say that, I don't want to be too hard on motion controls. Playing games like Sonic and the Secret Rings have sort of turned me against motion controls, but I don't want to make it sound like I'm totally against them. Because they can be used to great effect. I like the motion controls in Galaxy, obviously Wii Sports. It's just that sometimes they aren't used to great effect and they just feel gimmicky as shit. Sorry. Namely, Sonic and the Secret Rings. That probably one of the worst implementations of motion controls. I'm also not... One of the things I much prefer about this game compared to Returns, incidentally, is the fact that it's no longer are things tied to motion controls. And I'm considering replaying Returns not on the Wii, as it were, so that I can play it without motion controls. Because I think Ugonic was playing the game without motion controls, and it was a much smoother experience. Ow. So, I want to give that a shot one day. Worst cartoon theory I've ever read or heard. See, okay, so it's a tie between the Blue's Clues theory that Steve is like... Actually, I guess they're kind of similar. It's both Blue's Clues and Phineas and Ferb have a theory that the Candace or Steve is just a rampant schizophrenic, and it's all in their head. Oh no, sorry, I think it's more specific. It's in Phineas and Ferb, the theory is that Candace is like, her brothers died at some point, and it's all just an expression of her, like, grieving over the loss of Phineas and Ferb, or something stupid like that. And then Blue's Clues, I think it's more specifically that Steve is, like, locked up in a mental institution, and he's just going crazy, like, in a padded room, and he's imagining all the animated characters in his head. I think it's a tie between those two dumbass fucking theories. I mean, I'm sure most of the people who say those things are just doing it for the lulz. But I'm sure there are also some people who, like, genuinely believe it to be true, which is concerning. Steve in the pad room, I swear to God there was CGI mustard, you gotta believe me. The trash can came to life and it jumped through Central Park, and then a tree lifted my cousin into the air, and then teleported his fucking chair out of his house to New York City. I promise you, I'm not insane, I swear, please. You gotta believe me. Ow. Okay, well, missed that jump. You can chalk any movie, show, game, and book as it being it's all a dream. Well, I mean, you can... In the sense that you can say anything about anything, yes. But there are certain cases where there's more there's a more solid through line of logic to where that could theoretically be the case, whereas sometimes it just is actually just pulled out of thin air. Like in Inception, I'm pretty sure there's still like rampant, not to. I mean, I don't think this is spoilers, but there is a lot of discussion about whether that. To my understanding, there's a lot of discussion in that movie as to whether even at the end, if it is all still in a dream world or not. I don't think that spoils anything. I'm trying to keep it as like spoiler-free as possible. There is a lot of discussion to be had about that, and my understanding is that there's evidence for both sides of that argument. But with something like Phineas and Ferb, it's just like you are actually basing this on complete conjecture nothingness. So you can technically say about anything, strictly theoretically speaking, but there are some instances in which it will hold up under scrutiny better than others. Wii Sports Resort has the best motion control implementation of all time, to be honest. Which, I mean, makes sense, right? Because that was when they first introduced the Wii Motion Plus. Oh, remember the instructional videos on how to plug in the Wii Motion Plus accessory? To insert Wii Motion Plus, insert into the hole. Plug the thing into the thing. It's like the most patronizing instructional videos ever, and there were 4 of them. They're very nostalgic. Oh, absolutely. They're absolutely very nostalgic. I will not deny that. They are thinking about them and going back and watching them is quite nostalgic. Oh no! Well, that overshot that a little bit. However, they are just like, why are these here? I also like the intro to Wii Sports Resort. I love and it's a shame that you only ever get it the first time you boot up the game, but the skydiving intro, where instead of just loading into the main menu, you jump out of the plane and then you go into skydiving formation and the logo appears around you as you plummet towards the island. I like that a lot. Really, 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 really like that opening to the game. Galaxy 2 came with a separate tutorial disc for some reason. Did it? I don't remember that at all. I only ever remember getting 1 disc for that game. Interesting. You're still so offended Woohoo Island was just discarded into the dustbin of history. Yeah, It gets more representation. The most amount of representation that Woohoo Island gets is, of all things, in the Wii Fit games. A lot of the mini-games and exercises you can do in that game take place on Woohoo Island. And, like, you can actually walk around the area. There's so much potential in that atmosphere. I absolutely love the atmosphere of Woohoo Island. One of my favorite things to do as a kid was just flying around. Like, honestly, just doing the island flyover thing. Not even after I found all the eye points and I got my own little private island in the game, which was awesome. Just getting in a plane, flying around the island, seeing the sights, going to the volcano, flying out to the Gulf Island. That was all. I love that. I love that stuff. Just the calming atmosphere and aesthetic of Wii Sports Resort was fantastic, and it really is a shame that it never really... I mean, obviously, Mario Kart 7 has the Woohoo Island tracks, but unfortunately, we have not seen those since Mario Kart 7, which is a shame. Well, I mean, I guess they might be in Tour. I don't know. I've only played a very small amount of Tour. They might be in that game, but they didn't get brought back to the Booster Course Pass, which is a shame. Stage in Smash Ultimate. There's that as well. I actually didn't... Well, I might have known it was... No, I definitely knew it was there. I just forgot about it because I'm not that familiar with Smash Stages. Even though, which is weird for me to say because we played that like every single Friday in... I think I mentioned that on stream before. My high school had a video game club. Every Friday during lunch, people would get together in the AP US History Teacher's room, and we would just play video games. And by play video games, I mean we would play the same video game over and over again. There was no variety. They should have just called it the Smash Club. That's all they ever did, was just play Smash. And I did it the first time I went in there. I was like, yeah, I'll play Smash. Why not? I don't usually play this game. Then I realized, oh, that's all you guys ever play. It's just Smash. So I lost interest very quickly. I mean, I still went there because that's where all my friends were, so we hung out there and just chatted. But for a while, that was pretty much all they ever did. Now, thankfully, they did eventually have some variety, like my last year there. Someone brought in a 360, so there was Halo that you could play. I almost overshot that jump. And then someone brought in a Wii. Now, that was the best choice. Someone brought in a Wii so people could play Wii Sports. And primarily Wii Tennis. I think I actually have video of myself and Brooks playing Wii Tennis in high school, which is awesome. But yeah, Smash as a whole, I haven't really. I think I did either all or most of the classic modes, but the game is not something I'm that knowledgeable on. When do I think the Lego Batman movie takes place in between the Lego movies? What I think is that it doesn't, because it can't. Within what's been established by the movies themselves, there's no way that Lego Batman can possibly happen between Lego Movie 1 and 2. They just forgot. They didn't take the time to actually try to make it fit. It was a mistake. They shouldn't have just, there would have been nothing wrong with just having the Lego Batman movie be its own separate continuity. That's what they should have done, but they didn't. So now we're left with the mangled mess that is somehow having to fit in the Justice League Anniversary Party and Batman's emotional arc of the Lego Batman movie with, oh, by the way, the Justice League went missing for 5.5 years immediately after the first Lego movie. They disappeared to another star system, I guess. And also, like, it's what the fans want to be alone with a broken heart, and Batman doesn't want to make a commitment. It's annoying is what it is. It's quite annoying. Island Flyover was peak. Gorgeous hub world. You played the Gmod map all the time. I did not even know that there was a Gmod map, but also I don't play Gmod, so I don't think I've ever played more than just like the default sandbox map. I don't think I've ever done anything more than that in Gmod. Maybe one time my friend and I played Trouble in Terrorist Town in Gmod, but nothing more than Gmod is not a game that ever really caught my interest. I know one of my friends had like thousands upon thousands of hours in Gmod. I have like maybe 5 in total. I honestly don't know. Sorry for talking too much. No, by all means, keep on chatting away. I love reading messages. Second is one thing in America. Yeah, I was pretty sure it was. I was like, was there a second? Because I have very vivid memories of getting Galaxy 2 for the first time and opening up and playing it like the night it came in. That was a very special night. I feel like I would have remembered if there was a second disc. So I guess that makes sense. So what was the second disc? Was just a tutorial for what? Motion controls? Like what was the purpose of it? Like what was the tutorial teaching you? Was it like specifically Galaxy 2 stuff or general motion control tutorials? Sent a video. I can't check that right now, but I will. Oh, I think I tapped the spike when I looked away. Oops. Woohoo tracks aren't in Tour. In fact, they're the only 3DS tracks to never be brought back. Now that's a crime. That's like an actual crime. It is nice to know that I'm not the only one who, because sometimes it feels like I was one of the only, if not the only person who actually has some level of intense nostalgia for Woohoo Island and really loves seeing those tracks in Mario Kart 7. Oh dear. Okay, we made it. I was not entirely certain I was going to be able to get through that without Diddy or Dixie, but we pulled through. Somehow. Yeah, it's nice to know that I'm not the only one who wishes that Woohoo Island got more stuff. I remember spending hours on Wii Tennis. Wii Tennis was, I guess tennis is, based on my experience in high school, it seems like tennis is the most popular of the Wii sports, but the one I always played the most of was golf. As I think I've said before, I love golf. Very, very calming to play. which is why it's a fucking shame that it never got... Well, not never, sorry. It wasn't in Switch Sports at launch for some insane reason. That'd be like launching a Halo game without co-op at launch. I mean, can you even imagine that? Could you even fucking imagine? Would I do a Let's Play of the Mario and Rabbids games? Possibly. I mean, I own the first game because I got it, like, super, super cheap. The first game I have because I got it on a massive discount. So it'd be dumb of me not to play that. And Sparks of Hope, I would play if only because Gareth Coker is one of the 3 composers in that game, and Gareth Coker is, I've made no attempts to hide the fact that he's, like, my all-time favorite game composer. I love everything he's ever done, pretty much. So I would absolutely be willing to check it out for him. I mean, I've listened to all his tracks from the game. I just haven't listened to any of the other tracks from the game. I've only listened to his. But I would not be opposed to checking out the game. I don't know if the gameplay style is something that would really fit, so I guess it's good that I bought the first game so cheap so that I can, at relatively low cost, I can check to see if I would like playing those types of games, so I don't waste too much money on it. Do I think Chuck McGill's illness is real? I thought it was ambiguous. I think I think the show makes it pretty clear that it's psychosomatic, which is to say that it's real to him, technically speaking, but it's not, like, it's all in his head. He's convinced himself. I died right before the checkpoint. That's a big sad moment. He's convinced himself it's real, and so to him he feels that it's real, but it doesn't actually deal any significant damage to him, which is what Jimmy proves. He's like, if it was actually something that happened to him, if it was actually something he was suffering from, and I'm trying to keep it vague as possible. If it was actually something he was suffering from, then what Jimmy did in the chicanery episode would have caused a reaction, but it didn't. And obviously we know that Chuck believes it's real because of how we see him behave throughout the rest of the show. But that's just because that's how psychosomatic things work. It's something he thinks has an impact on him, and therefore it does. But it's not an innate nature. It's not inherent, I guess is what I'm trying to say. What's the worst LEGO game? Much as I don't like Skywalker Saga, it's probably LEGO Movie 2. Like, honestly. That is such an embarrassment of a game. You think there were tutorials showcasing obscure movesets in Mario, like the homing ground pound? Ah, I see. So I guess kind of like the green tutorial screens that pop up in the game, just coagulated into a single disc. Or I guess maybe more aptly, like the tutorial videos in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, where you can spend your star coins to get the tutorial videos. If you know what I mean. Like in the World 1, you can go into Princess Peach's castle and then spend your star coins on tutorial videos to either learn cool movesets or learn infinite spots to grind for infinite lives or things like that, I'm pretty sure. Or speedruns also. I think they were also pretty good speedruns. It's those both British voiceovers. Alright, governors, what you gotta do is you gotta shake the Wiimote and then press the Z button on your Wiimote. Least favorite and most favorite boss in Cuphead? See, I never have a good answer to this because it's kind of like when people ask me what my favorite Phineas and Ferb episode is. I love them all, and the Phineas and Ferb episodes, much like Cuphead's bosses, are all so consistently good that it's really hard for me to pick a favorite boss. What do I want? I'll answer in a question. I gotta think about what I want for this boss first, though. I remember this being like my first major hurdle in the game was the second boss, the boss of World 2. I think I'll buy that. I think that should probably be fine. Oh, I have one more. Okay, I have more levels to go. I have more levels to go, but I want to be prepared anyway. Okay, favorite and least favorite boss in Cuphead. Least favorite is probably the B, Rumor Honeybottoms and Honeycomb Herald. Favorite, I don't know, man. It's... See, my gut instinct is to say King Dice, just because, but I feel like that's kind of a cop-out answer because there's so many bosses in that one. But I do like the board game aspect of it, where you get to choose your bosses, and it's a little test of parry on top of all the other mini bosses. I like the idea of it being a mini boss gauntlet and then the big boss. Yeah, I feel like if I think about this for too long, I'm just gonna get stuck on it all day. So I'll just say, I'll say least favorite B boss, favorite. But like saying King Dice sounds, I mean, if you consider King Dice to be a cop-out or whatever, which I guess is fair, then I guess I would have to say, I'm trying to think, 'cause it's like, Floral Fury is a classic. I like that one a lot. I like the plain levels more than most people do, like Aviary Reaction, like Woolly Warbles. The DLC bosses... Oh, actually, you know what? You know what? I think it might be... Maybe it's the doggone dogfight one from the DLC, where they flip the screen around. That wasn't nice. I didn't like that at all. I mean, of course, if you play on Switch in handheld mode, it kind of doesn't affect you at all, because you can just literally physically rotate the screen around. But I will never forget how much of a loop that threw me for when I played it for the first time with Neil 2 years ago. So maybe that one, but I wouldn't even to say it's my, because I love all of them. So whatever the least favorite boss would just be the one I like the least, not the one that not anyone that I don't like particularly. And then favorites. Maybe the train. I like the train. The train one's pretty cool. I do like the train. Oh, no, sorry. No, okay. My actual least favorite is the, Sugarland Shimmy in World 2, because it's random which mini bosses you get. With King Dice, kind of the opposite of King Dice. With King Dice, you get to choose which ones you get. Like, you get to actually choose for yourself which, which bosses you get to play. But with Sugarland Shimmy, it's all RNG. Whether you get, because will you get the one that goes in an infinity symbol? Will you get the one that? Because like some of them are definitely easier than others. I don't know. I just like I like there being consistency to my bosses. I guess if that makes sense. I don't like random, and it's not like any of them are unfair. I don't want to imply that, but I do like it when it's consistent, or if there is an element of dynamic where it's not the same every time. I like being able to have some control over that, I guess, like in King Dice where you can pick which bosses you play. Again though, I don't dislike any of them. I honestly don't. Ow, I jumped right into that. I don't genuinely dislike any of them. Okay, well, that was just a failed run from the start. So yeah, I don't want to take too long on this question. If I had to pick one least favorite, it would be probably Sugarland Shimmy or the B-Boss, or maybe Doggone Dogfight for all the reasons I described. Favorite could be King Dice, because I like the board game aspect to it. I like the mini-boss gauntlet kind of thing it's got going for it. I jumped into it again, damn it. A different one this time, but I still jumped right into it. Aside from that... You know what? Maybe the robot, which sounds like I never would have thought I'd say that, because I hated the robot when I was first learning the game in 2017. I hated the robot so much. It was the last boss I saved. I didn't when I did my expert mode run, I didn't do the bosses in order. I played the bosses very much out of order. Just kind of I saved them. I saved the one that I figured would give me the most amount of trouble for absolute last. And that one would be the robot. So that's why I played it. I didn't jump. Shit. So that's why I saved the robot for last. But now that I've gotten better at it, I kind of love the robots fight. I don't know. I think I'm gonna plead the fifth. I'm going to abstain from answering because I legitimately love too many of them for me to pick just one favorite. I apologize if that's a cop-out answer, but that's the best you're gonna. Hopefully that was something of a fulfilling answer to the question. I don't know. Okay, I feel like I missed a lot of messages that took so long to answer just that one. Let's see what I can't scroll up right now, but I'll try to catch up on older messages out to this level. I can actually scroll through chat, but I'll answer some recent ones. Least favorite boss, probably Sally's stage play. Yeah, I can see that. Not bad, it's underwhelming. Yeah, it's very... It kind of feels... Do you think it feels sort of out of place in World 3? Because World 3 has a lot of really engaging, really intense bosses, some of the hardest in the game, which they should be, right? Because it's World 3. And then there's Sally's stage play, which... Do you want one of these things? It's not like the... Well, I guess maybe not one of these things. It's also kind of... I feel like maybe Werner Vermin also sort of doesn't fit World 3's... I think maybe what I feel like I've heard people say this before, but I think I would have preferred if they switched Ribby and Croaks out with some of the World 3 bosses, because I feel like Ribby and Croaks more closely matches the difficulty level of World 3 than Sally's stage play or Werner Vermin. Anyway, scroll up a little bit. How is Halo Season 2? It is better than Season 1. It is, I will say that much, it is better than Season 1. Okay, now it's actually boss time, I'm pretty sure. I bought that. What else can I get? That's for underwater levels. That's for if you fall, that's for extra life. I don't think we need that. I'll buy 3 of those. Yeah. I mean, we have the coins to afford it. And I think that's all. Yeah, I think I'm fine with just that. The blue balloon isn't going to be helpful until we reach World 4. World 4 is the underwater one, right? World 4 of boss is where we're really going to need that stuff. But for this one, I think... yeah. Original, yeah, whatever. Wait, can I equip... Okay, no, I thought... Okay, you can only equip... I wanted to see if I could equip all 3 at once and just absolutely cheese it, but no, they don't let you do it. That you can only equip one heart at a time. Makes sense. Okay. I remember this boss being one of the first major hurdles that I encountered. So let's see if it is a similar hurdle for me this time. You could switch Sally's stage with any boss in World 2. Maybe they wanted to put it next to the hard boss to catch the little break. I guess that might be the logic. Sort of a reprieve from the more difficult surrounding bosses. Strange how Half-Life 2 and Halo started a revolution in first-person shooters in the early 2000s. Probably shouldn't be reading messages right now. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna not. I'm going to abstain from reading anything in chat until I get through this, or at least until I get to the phase change. Because like I keep saying, this boss was like a major hurdle for me when I played this for the first time. Not this phase. I think it wasn't until I got to phase 2 that it started to become really, really hard. Well, maybe not really, really hard, but just a lot harder. So I'm going to concentrate as best I can. Second one, because the second phase you have to bounce off of a bunch of the... You have to bounce off of the the little mini birds he sends your way, and then at the last minute you have to throw the thing at him to get a hit off. And I don't even remember what phase 3. I actually don't remember. My memory of this boss is mainly just the second phase. I don't really remember the third phase. I know it takes place high in the sky, like sort of sunset atmosphere, but mechanically I do not know. I do not know what. Okay, is that phase 1? Okay. What was I saying? Call of Duty came out most popular franchise because Call of Duty is a lot simpler than those games. So it appeals to more people. It's Call of Duty is mainly just mindless running and gunning, which is why it appeals to more people than Halo and Half-Life. I mean, I haven't played Half-Life, but I'm pretty sure it's more mechanically intensive than Call of Duty. Because it's not hard to be more mechanically intensive than Call of Duty. Which, I mean, it's not to say there's anything wrong with enjoying something that's more simplistic. Like, if you prefer Call of Duty just because it is, like, super simple, you turn your brain off, have some fun after a long day's work, that's fine. I respect that. I understand what the appeal is of Call of Duty, and that's why it has the following that it does. Or at least it did. I don't know if it does anymore, because I feel like even among Call of Duty fans, people have not been happy with some of the recent releases. Of course, I say that not knowing really all that much about the recent Call of Duty releases, except I think the last one I actively followed was in 2021, just because Battlefield, Halo, and Call of Duty were all coming out right next to each other for the first time in forever, so that was a huge event. And against all odds, Halo somehow came out the winner in that one, because Battlefield 2042 was completely broken. And what was it? Was Vanguard? Was that the name of it? The one that came out? Oh, right, this one. Instead of having holes or having gaps between the feathers, it's just massive clusters of feathers. That's what this is. Doesn't he pull some other shit in this phase? What is he? What's his big move here? I forget. Oh right, the army. Oh right, the army. One of you flips around, I think. No. I feel like I remembered one of you flipping around, so I could. No, okay, I guess not. Oh wait, here it is. This is the one I was looking for. He flips around, and then you grab him, and then you do a yeet. That is definitely why Call of Duty had the big following that it. Ow! Maybe I should have moved. I did not have the reaction time to get out of the way of the giant egg falling from the sky. Bop. I feel like the game is being a little more generous with hearts than it was in my first playthrough. I don't remember getting this many hearts. Yeah, okay. I was not in a good position there. I had to tank a hit, but we had the hearts to do it. I don't know how many more hits he needs before he dies. I feel like it's probably 1 or 2 away at this point. Let's hope this is the winning run. Oh, wow, okay, I almost didn't grab you there. Hi. That was a little too close to comfort. You know what? That's fine. Alright, well, we had a good run. Now we don't have Dixie. So this is gonna get a lot harder. I don't have the safety net anymore. The only reason I saved myself in that last time when I had to jump off is because I had Dixie to be able to tank that hit. So, oh, we did it. Okay, wow. I was not expecting... Holy shit, wow. 23 hits. I did not think that was going to work out well for me. Well, that was a lot easier than it was the first time around. Not sure why, but I guess it worked. When's Cuphead's anniversary again? August? I think so? It's either August or September. Actually, wasn't it September? I thought it came out in September. I don't know, someone look up when Cuphead came out in 2017. I thought it was September. I could be wrong, though. Didn't Cuphead and Sonic Mania come out, like, right next to each other that year? Or was Sonic Mania August? Or was it September 29th? Okay, so Cuphead was September 29th. So, Sonic Mania... Ow! Hi, chicken jump scare. 2017 was Masterpiece Central. Sure was. I started watching an anime called K-On! Recommending me animes is not a valuable use of your time. I've accepted that I'm not an anime fan. It's not. There are some anime things that I like, obviously, like Ace Attorney launched me to where I am today, and I love that series. But while there are exceptions, more often than not, I'm just not a fan of anime stuff. You refuse to watching this season of the Halo show? Good choice, because, I mean, while Halo Season 2 is better than Halo Season 1, I still wouldn't call it good. It is a far cry from being good. But it is, I don't have the same vitriolic hatred for Season 2 so far. So far, I've only seen one episode, so I don't want to make too authoritative statements about it. Oh, puzzle piece. Cool. I did not know that was there. I saw the platform was there, and I jumped to it, and then apparently there was a puzzle piece there, so that's cool. But, yeah, Season 2 has made concerted efforts to improve upon things that Season 1 did poorly. Not all of it. It still has a lot of the same problems as Season 1, but it doesn't... I don't know, I guess it doesn't feel as spiteful. I also don't know how much of it is to do with the fact that they're still wrestling with the fallout from Season 1's garbage writing. Trying to walk the line between getting away from it and doing their own thing. So I want that banana. I want that banana. I want that banana. No? No banana for me, I guess. What are my thoughts on the trailer for the Knuckles series? I think it looks cool. I think it looks... I made a bold choice to release it on the same day as the Halo show. But I do think it looks good. Whoa. It looks about on par with the rest of the Sonic movie content that we've had so far. Of course, the irony is not lost on me that in the same year they're releasing Sonic 3, the movie, and also the Knuckles show, so they are releasing Sonic 3 and Knuckles. There's practically zero chance that's a coincidence, that they definitely did that on purpose. And if they didn't, then I don't know, I don't believe it. Favorite DDLC character that isn't Monica? I think it's heretical to imply that anybody other than Monica would be the best character in DDLC. Just Monica. Just Monica and only Monica. Can't wait for the physical bundle with both the movie and the show. I hope they do that. I really hope they do that. I don't own either Sonic movie physically. I just want it to exist. I want Sonic 3 and Knuckles to be a bundle somebody can purchase. That would be, like, legitimately awesome. And so here's the other thing. We were talking about the Halo show earlier. I think if I wanted to, I could pretty harshly criticize both Sonic... One more so than two. I could pretty harshly criticize both Sonic movies. But it's clear to me that they do have a lot of respect for the source material. It radiates vibes of, we love the games, and we're gonna show you how much we love the games. Versus the Halo show where it's like, yeah, actually fuck the games, who cares? The games are dumb, stupid little mindless shooty bang bang games for edgy teenagers or whatever. 2 also has a lot of problems. Oh yeah, like I said, I mean, I did say that I could harshly criticize both of them. I'd say, well, actually, I don't know. I was gonna, my default answer is to say that one would hold up worse under scrutiny, because my gut reaction to them is that one would be worse than 2. But thinking about it, one's also a lot simpler than 2. The 2 has a lot more variables in it that could lead to there being problems. So, but I also haven't really taken the time to dissect either movie on a hyper-analytical level. So I don't know. Ow! Well, checkpoint's right here, so that's fine. That's fine. Lock the Sonic 3 movie into the Knuckles TV show to watch Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Could you even imagine? No, it's like two halves of a disc that need to be brought together. They snap together like Lego pieces. This music of the game is why David Wise is one of the best. He's certainly a very talented composer. As slightly jank as old school as Half-Life 2 is, definitely worth checking out if I get the chance. So here's the thing, I am extremely confident that if I ever try the Half-Life games, I love them just because I think it's pretty similar tonally and stylistically to the Portal games, because obviously Valve made them, and I believe it's the same source engine. However, the thing with me is I hate leaving things unfinished. And if I know in advance, it's why I won't watch Game of Thrones or Star Wars: The Forces of Evil, because I know, granted that's not exactly the same because those stories have an ending, they're just shit. But if I know that a story either doesn't have an ending or has a shit ending, I'm very reluctant to start it. It's why I put off watching The Owl House for so long, because it's like, oh, it got canned by Disney, did it? Am I sure I want to get into this? This might be a bad idea, I might regret this heavily. I didn't, obviously, but I could have. So, point being, I'm pretty sure Half-Life 2 has a ball-busting cliffhanger that doesn't ever get resolved because Valve can't count to 3. So I don't know if I'd ever want to actually take the plunge and get into those games. Ow. Rambi, no. Okay, well, I guess Rambi went over the edge. It's fine. Rambi's for nerds anyway. We don't need a Rambi. We don't need a Rambi. Rambi's for losers. Never mind, actually, Rambi's for winners. Rambi's for winners, actually. Do I buy the idea that Sponge 2 and 3 take place before 1? I don't see why not. I don't think there's anything in it that directly contradicts the events of 1, but I also, keep in mind, asterisk on that comment being that I have not seen any of the 3 SpongeBob movies in a very long time. In fact, I think the most recent, well no, I've seen movie 1 more recently than I've seen movie 3, that's for sure. But I haven't really, it's still been years since I've seen any of them. I think I might have, the last time I watched the first movie was probably pretty close to when I watched the third movie, because the third movie was so fucking awful that I'm like, I need to wash this down immediately with good SpongeBob content. But I've been meaning to revisit them all for a while. I don't expect anything to change with the third movie, that's for sure. But the second one, the first one I've seen come under a lot of criticism recently, so I want to see if it holds up as well as I think it's going to. And the second one is one that I've always said I don't like, but a lot of people apparently are very fond of it. So I want to see, because a lot of the reasons why I didn't like that movie is because I had the trailers just straight up lied to me about what the movie was going to be about. So I kept waiting for the movie to get to the part the trailers made it seem like the movie was going to be all, well, the trailers and the title made it seem like it was going to be all above water. You know, that's why it's called Sponge Out of Water. Turns out it's just the final, like, 15 minutes of the movie. So I wonder if going into it with the expectation that it is only the climax that they go out of water, if that will change my enjoyment of the movie at all. I imagine it probably will. I don't know if I'll think it's good, but I might not, like, hate it the same way I did originally. Episode 2's ending is gut-wrenching both because of what happened and that never got resolved. Half-Life Alyx could have fixed it, instead it made a new cliffhanger. That's kind of what I thought. I thought when Half-Life Alyx got announced, I'm like, oh my god, did they actually do it? Did they actually follow up on Half-Life 2's cliffhanger? And from what I understand, they didn't. They did not do that. I could argue Sponge Out of Water was built up before they get out of said water. What I would argue is that the trailers were almost entirely comprised of footage from them getting out of water. And you probably shouldn't name your movie after the climax. Probably not the best idea. just generally speaking. I'll buy some of those now. And some of these, just so I have them. I'm not gonna need the blue balloons for a while, I don't think. But I'd rather have them than not. Oh, one last note on Valve games and like Half-Life and Portal and stuff. I jokingly said they can't count to 3 because they can't. But for Portal, I don't really want them to count to 3. I don't really want there to be a Portal 3 after Portal, because Portal 2 ends things so perfectly that I don't think it would really... I don't think it would be a benefit. It's not a game that's like begging for a sequel, and it's not a game that I want there to be a sequel for. Like if they want to do other Portal stuff, like side games, spin-offs, prequels, that kind of thing, that could work. But the story of Chell and GLaDOS, I think, is done. That's perfectly bookended by Portal 2, and I don't want that to continue at any point. But Half-Life had a massive cliffhanger they never followed up on. So that, I think, absolutely should get a third installment in some capacity. I will say, though, on the subject of spin-off games and things like that for Portal, I'm not even really dying for that, because A, oh, I jumped right into that. A, the game has its own, essentially, Forge feature, like in Halo, where you can build your own custom levels, which is awesome, and that in and of itself has expanded Portal 2's lifespan by so much, being able to make your own levels and share them with friends and put them on the Steam Workshop. But even aside from that, you have so many amazing full-fledged Portal fan games, and not like shittily made ones or anything, like really with high production quality and production value fan-made stuff like Portal Stories Mel is the one I always think of. Aperture Tag was pretty good. I'm playing through one right now called I Fail a Jump and Hit the Wall and Burn the Fire. I forget what it's called. I think it's called Portal Revolution. Portal Reloaded is another one that I tried a couple years ago. That it's like it involves time travel as a core gameplay mechanic, which sounds like it could be messy, but from what I played, it actually seemed like it works pretty damn well. So yeah, I'm sitting pretty with Portal content is my point. I don't feel the burning desire to get another mainline Portal installment. But for Half-Life fans, I think they deserve a continuation of the cliffhanger. That's like, why even... Because I don't think it was because they didn't have the means to make another game. I would assume Valve had the means to make as many games as they wanted to. They just chose not to, which is a bold move, I guess. Been thinking about picking up the Portal Switch collection. I think it's on sale. If it's on sale, then definitely grab it. I mean, I would recommend it even if it's not on sale. But especially if it's on sale, get it. Love, love, love the Portal duology. That's the only platform I don't have the games on. I used to be able to say that I own Portal on every console on every platform you can play it on. I have it on PC, I have it on 360, and I have it on PS3. Well, I mean, I have it as in I have the physical disc, but I can't play it on PS3 anymore because I no longer own a PS3 because my PS3 just died on me one day. But I had it, and I still have the disc. Of course, but I can't say that anymore because now it's on Switch. And I don't know if it's... I can't justify purchasing it on Switch just to be able to say that I own it on every platform, because it's not... I didn't buy Portal on all the platforms that I did for the sake of having the title of I own Portal 2 on every single platform you can play it on. That wasn't the reason. The reason is because there were people on all three platforms who I wanted to play Portal 2 with. I originally bought it for the PS3 because that was the main console. That was still in the early days of me owning a 360. And before I had a 360, the PS3 was the main game I liked to play games. I mean, I liked the Wii, of course. I probably had more hours sunk into the Wii collectively overall, but the PS3 had obviously higher resolution, higher fidelity than the Wii, so if I had the choice of playing a game like that, a single-player game especially, a multiplayer game, I would probably get it for Wii because my family and friends preferred playing the Wii. But for a single-player thing like Portal 2, I would have preferred it on PS3 because I just preferred playing games that way. So that was why I got the game initially. Then I had a friend who wanted to play it on 360, that being Gavin, for those who have been around long enough to know that name. He wanted to play it on 360, so I bought it there. And then I had a friend on who wanted to play it on PC, on Steam, so I got it there as well. And it never really cost me that much because the Portal games very, very frequently go on sale. But that was the reasoning why I wanted to... Oh my god, I kind of jumped right into that, didn't I? I also missed the heart, so that's not great. Hey, at least this game actually gives you 2 hits in the minecart and rocket levels. Give me banana. So yeah, I don't currently have a desire to buy it on Switch. But I'm very happy it's there. Because the more people that get to play the Portal games, the better life is. I love the sort of story this world tells. It's lively in the first level, next level takes place in the next morning and it's peaceful, but then level 3 is a tornado that sets the next level ablaze. I never really thought about it like that, but yeah, you're right, that is great attention to detail in telling a story through gameplay. Because, I mean, obviously this game doesn't really have it has a story, but the story is there to just justify the gameplay. But the fact that there are those little details in the world design and all the levels makes it feel like a more cohesive place that exists as opposed to just a series of levels that you're playing through for the sake of gameplay. I also love these sections. All the layers that are in what's traditionally a 2D platformer adds a lot more depth to the levels by having all constantly being launched into the background and all over the place with the barrels. Who's my favorite Looney Tunes character? Daffy Duck, easily. There's a reason I use so many clips of him in my stuff, because I love Daffy. Also, I think I saw a thing here. Ow, well, I probably could have left that there and it would have blown up, but you know what, it's fine. Who needs Dixie? Real gamers do it Donkey Kong only. Like people who play Ratchet games with only the wrench. Or like Mega Man Buster only kind of thing. You would love a full Dial of Destiny scene by scene review. You might just get it, because it seems like people want to, from judging by the comments on my initial Dial of Destiny rant, it seems like that's something that people would want to see. I didn't wait. I was too impatient. Hey, question, for anyone who remembers my LP, was there ever a point where I had 42 fucking lives? How did I even get that many lives? I feel like I have way more lives here than I ever had in my original LP. Ow, I shouldn't. I looked at chat to read responses to what I said, and then I died. That's my fault. That's what I get for not looking at the damn screen. Let me make it through this barrel section. Patience. No. I knew where I had to go there, too. I knew I had to go to the right. I hit the button too late. I hit the button too damn late. Okay. Patience here. Go immediately here. Wait. That. No. Trigger finger. Least favorite Fairly Odd Parents episode? Oh god, I don't even know. Most of the bad Fairly Odd Parents episodes I kind of purged out of my mind, I feel like. And the thing, I only really remember the good ones with that show. Like, that's not a show where watching it ever really pissed me off at any point. I mean, I know I didn't like the later seasons, that's why I stopped watching the show. And I dropped out. A lot of people have a point, like there's always one point in that show where people drop out, and everyone can very easily pinpoint. Some people dropped out when Poof came in. Some people dropped out when Sparky came in. Some people dropped out when Chloe came in. My breaking point was Sparky. Sparky the dog in Season 9, that was the point where I'm like, no, this is too, I can't. This is too, I refuse. Apparently, that wasn't even the worst of it, though, because, like I said, Chloe became a thing in, Season, whatever, 10, 11, I don't know how long that show went on for. She became a thing at some point, and she runs so contrary to what the show is even supposed to be about that I actually can't believe that was ever added into the game. It's insane, or into the show, it's insane to me. But yeah, I remember watching Season 9, I just don't remember anything about it, so I can't really give you an answer there. Sorry. I don't have a go-to favorite, or at least, even, well, favorite, I think my favorite for Lab Parents episode is probably, it's either Channel Chasers, School's Out, or the Wishology trilogy. From memory. I mean, I know Channel Chasers is like the obvious answer, because everyone likes Channel Chasers. But I don't know, it's like Breaking Bad. Everyone says, what's your favorite episode? Ozymandias. It's like, oh, what an obvious pick. Well, it's like, I mean, yeah, there's a reason why it's an obvious pick. Because I think it is legitimately the best episode of television I've ever seen. It is for a good reason why that is as highly revered as it is. Hearing I had a PS3 as a kid is insane because of how many great episodes I seem to have missed. Yeah, I wasn't really, like, I was never really that into... because remember, the only reason I even purchased a PS3 is because I needed a Blu-ray player. We were I think I told the story before. My mom and I were at I think it was, hey, remember Movie Stop? GameStop, but for films. I think that's where we were, and we were looking at things, like just browsing the aisles, I think, and we saw a Blu-ray of Dragon Slayer, and I didn't know what Blu-ray. That was my first exposure to the concept of Blu-ray was Dragon Slayer. I was like, hey, what's this? I like Dragon Slayer, and it's got a shiny cover on it. It's got new artwork. What is this? And I didn't know what it was, so my mom was reluctant to make any purchases based on technology-based things without consulting my dad, because my dad, much like me, is the techno brain of the family. So she called him to ask what it was, and he explained what Blu-ray was to us, and said that if we were going to, in order to watch it, we needed a Blu-ray player, and we figured that if we were gonna invest in a Blu-ray player, we should probably also buy something that's, we should also probably get something that can play games, because like we didn't have enough Blu-rays to justify that, because obviously we didn't even know what it was before that day. But they knew that I played games a lot, so figured upgrading the game console in addition to getting a Blu-ray player seemed like an all-around good investment. Like the family can get higher quality movies to watch by watching a Blu-ray, and also I can get higher quality games to play by playing on a more high-def game console. So all around, it just seemed like a good investment for the family as a whole to have. So that's why, but because of that, it was primarily used as a Blu-ray player. Like that was the main thing it got used for by us, was to watch Blu-rays. So I wasn't aware of PlayStation as an IP, or the games that came with, like the first party games that came with it. All I knew it was, the only thing I knew it as was the Blu-ray player that also played games. And even as a kid, I understood that like it played games at higher resolution than the Wii. So I knew that if I was ever gonna get a game to play by myself, that I would want to get it on that. But I had no idea what Ratchet & Clank was or any of that stuff until 2016, when I was browsing games at GameStop, and I saw Ratchet & Clank. It's like, that looks cool. I should buy that. And then I did. DK only, Final Destination, no items. Favorite short in the Hunting trilogy? I gotta go with, I don't know what they're all, I don't know the names of all of them. But it's gotta be the one where Bug says, "You keep out of this. He doesn't have to shoot you now." And Daffy says, "He does still have to shoot me now. I demand that you shoot me now." That's where I pull pretty much all my Looney Tunes clips come from that episode. I also used one from the one in winter when Daffy's staring at the screen, and oh well, I only got one that time. That's lame. Daffy's staring at the screen with his eyes just like dead-faced, deadpan stare. But I think my favorite one is the one where Daffy just euphorically jumps up and down. Shoot him now! Shoot him now! Okay, so now it's time for pain. Now it's time for the water world. I remember not being too fond of the water world when I played it for the first time. So, this could be an interesting experience. This game is hard sometimes, but like Crash 1, it just showers you with lives. It certainly seems that way. I mean, I certainly didn't feel that when I first played it, but now, during the stream, I have more lives than I know what to deal with. Or know what to do with, sorry. Not deal with. I'm not playing poker, I'm not dealing out lives. Like a game of blackjack. You don't need to non-stop roll underwater? Well, my friend, I like doing the roly roll, and so I shall do the roly roll. And if it gets to be a problem, then I'll slow things down, but for now I'm just gonna go like that, for instance. I like going Mach speed, so I shall continue to go Mach speed. You're currently stuck on Sans' boss fight in Undertale. Wish you luck. Oh, I will never forget the satisfaction I felt when I finally beat Sans the first time. The second I beat that boss, I took a picture of my Switch and I messaged. It wasn't even like it wasn't even like an actual high quality screenshot. It was a crappy like my hands were shaking as I was grabbing my phone to take the picture of my Switch, and I sent it to FG with the caption of "Get dunked on, Skelly boy." I was so happy. I was so pleased with myself after finally getting, because Genocide Run is so mind-numbingly easy until you, except for the Undyne fight and the Sans fight are the two massive difficulty spikes. I feel like Undertale's Pacifist Run is pretty good with raising the difficulty of the fights as you go. It's pretty consistent. Oh, well. Ran right into that. It's pretty consistent with how hard it is, how hard all of the bullet hell sections are as you go. Genocide Run is like a flat line with two ginormous peaks. Would I consider the Lego movies ending a cliffhanger with a sequel for? If not, why? Well, I certainly wanted a sequel when I watched it for the first time. To the point where literally the second I got back home from the theater, I was like, set a reminder, buy tickets for the Lego Movie 2. Or if not the second I got home, the second I found out there was going to be, I don't know when they announced that the sequel was going to be a thing, but whenever that happened, I immediately set a reminder for myself that I need to buy tickets for this, because I love the first one so much. But as to whether I consider it worthy of a sequel, I feel like the ending works as a joke, because once you know the context of what's really happening in that world and what all the Lego areas represent, I feel like the joke of, hey, your sister gets to play with us now, like that's, I guess it's kind of like the ending of Toy Story 1 in a way, where Woody's like, nothing can possibly be worse than you, Buzz, and then Andy opens the present, it's like, oh, a puppy! Because it's funny, obviously, because Scott gave them such hell earlier, and now it's like, oh, they got a dog of their own, haha, funny, haha. That's kind of how I viewed the ending of the Lego Movie. I don't think it needed a cliffhanger, even though it definitely functions as one, or can function as one. I wouldn't say that it was one that was, like, begging for a continuation. So I guess that'd be my answer to it. Of course, it is also worth noting that I only really... I say that with the knowledge of how the second movie turns out. because I also said for a while, like forever, that The Incredibles is a movie that was begging for a sequel because it ends with the Underminer and them having to face it together as a family. Then the second one came out, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe actually, I should take back. Maybe I regret saying that we need a sequel to this movie. I never should have said that. And really, it doesn't need a sequel. Just because I wanted one doesn't mean it needed one, because it works perfectly fine as a self-contained conclusion. The idea that now that they are together as a unified family, they're ready to confidently face any villainous threat that shows up to challenge them. And that's a nice positive note to end on. And it's the exact same note that the second movie ends on, which is like, why did you even bother? Exactly. What was the point? Like, what was actually the point? I have no idea. I mean, money, obviously, but like, trying to appeal to a sense of storytelling when I ask what was the point. That's the default answer whenever a topic like that comes up, is like, well, obviously the point of it was to make money, and yeah, I get it. Incredibles is highly profitable, they wanted to make money, but I'd like to appeal to narrative integrity when talking about what the point of something was. Because of course, you can do a sequel with the intent to make money while also making it good. They just didn't do that with Incredibles 2, which is a shame. You know, walk to Domino's to get some dinner, have fun with the dollar store DK boss. I don't know if I'd call it a dollar store DK boss. Although I think I did read your message before the stream started. This was like the third best Donkey Kong game or something. And nah, I would confidently say this is, of all the Donkey Kong games I've played, this is the best of the bunch. I mean, both this and Returns are leaps and bounds ahead of the original trilogy of games. But this especially takes every problem I had with Returns and pretty much fixes all of them. Just the fact that the minecart and rocket levels have an extra hit point, that alone makes it so much better. But it's also nice to play in widescreen. I feel like a lot of the frustration with the original trilogy of Donkey Kong games could be pretty easily alleviated if they just ported them to widescreen, so that you can more easily see what's coming ahead of you. Have I seen any movies from James Mangold other than Dial of Destiny? How do I view him as a writer and director? I have not seen any movies that, my introduction to James Mangold is Dial of Destiny. As how I view him as a writer and director, it's certainly not a good first impression, with Dial of Destiny being my only inkling as to his filmmaking capabilities. But, ow. Okay, I was trying to focus there, but now I can think. Okay. How I view this as a filmmaker, after watching the behind-the-scenes stuff, the vibe I get is that he was, like, he says that he was really trying to recapture Spielberg's style with Dial of Destiny. I'm not sure how that happened, because it's like, legitimately, I don't feel any trace of Spielberg's influence. The only thing I can say about that is that I guess the use of shadows is somewhat consistent with how it was in the early Indiana Jones movies. But even that is, like, that's generous. I haven't beaten Donkey Kong Country 3 and 64. Maybe those two are better. Yeah, I think I can pretty confidently bet that that is not the case at all. I'm extremely confident in my estimation that is probably not going to end up being the case. Anyway, let's give the blue balloon a shot. James Mangold was a screenwriter on Oliver and Company. Have I seen that movie? No, I have not. I mean, feel free to name if you know any other things that he's directed and written. you can feel free to send them in chat, and I'll tell you if I've seen them. But I'm pretty sure I looked into his catalog, and I have not. I don't think I've seen anything else that he directed or wrote. Or if I have, I didn't know he worked on it. What is a revolutionary Mario 64 and Breath of the Wild? I'm afraid I don't understand your question. If you're asking me what's revolutionary about those two games, then Mario 64 gave free camera control. Like, it was, as far as an open-ended, free-roaming 3D platformer with free camera controls, that had never been heard of before in the world of games, and that's why it is so highly revered as it is, because when it came out, it was groundbreaking. But just because it was groundbreaking at one point doesn't mean it's still fun to play, and it is not. As for Breath of the Wild, I haven't played that game, so I can't speak to its quality. Except that I hear from a lot of people, I mean, not a lot of people, but I've heard the sentiment that Tears of the Kingdom is sort of just a better Breath of the Wild, and it sort of acts as a substitute for it in some ways. Like my barber told me when I got my haircut recently, we were talking about the Zelda franchise, and I mentioned how I was going through all the games. He said that I should just skip Breath of the Wild because Tears of the Kingdom is just a better version of that, and it takes place in the same area, which I'm not going to do because I have an obligation to play Breath of the Wild. But I'm just regurgitating what I've heard from some people. Meanwhile, while Indiana Jones 5 was flopping through production, the actual Steven Spielberg made 2 great movies in the West Side Story and The Fabelmans, both nominated for the Picture of the Oscars. Haven't seen either of them, but yeah, I heard that they were very, very, very critically acclaimed. Now, granted, I don't... If Spielberg was in charge of Dial of Destiny, I don't know that it would have been magically good, because obviously Crystal Skull exists. But it would have at least improved the film from a presentation perspective. Because Dial of Destiny is just such an ugly fucking movie. Like, honestly, it's not aesthetically pleasing to look at all. And both from a perspective of visuals, like color palettes, but also from a perspective of shot composition, I don't think it's a particularly well-directed film. I don't see, maybe what I would guess, because I've heard James Mangold has done good things elsewhere. What I would guess happened is that in his attempts to recreate Spielberg's style, he tried to conflate it with his own, and sort of had a weird middle ground and just kind of missed the mark. That's what I guess happened. If I believe that he has done other good things, which I'm happy to believe, I think that's probably what happened with that movie. Have I seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit? No, I have not. Do I like water levels? I like good water levels. I'd say, generally speaking, I'm not... my gut reaction upon encountering a water level is, oh, good. This will be so much fun. But if the water level's good, I don't particularly mind. Which is kind of the case with a lot of things. If it's good, I don't really mind it. Of course, there are some things that I'm more conceptually open to than others. But water levels, generally not fond of, but they've been done to great effect. In this game especially, so far I'm not out. I'm not quite hating this world as much as I did the first time around. And also, it's the color. I didn't really talk about it much last time because I was talking about James Mangold and stuff, but the contrasting colors in that last level and how vibrant everything looks underwater, and so the fluorescent lighting of everything is absolutely gorgeous. Which, I mean, that's just every world in this game is gorgeous, except maybe... I don't particularly like the design of the last world visually, because it kind of feels like generic, not generic, but sort of just ice everywhere. But the first 5 worlds I love the aesthetics of. Maybe I'll feel differently about the final world playing it again. But that's probably my least favorite world from an aesthetic perspective. And this one, my favorite is probably still World 3. But World 4 takes a close second as far as how pretty the levels are. Where would I place Home Sweet Home Alone on my updated worst movies list? As I said in the beginning of the stream, I have no idea what my updated worst movies list would look like. Worst movies and worst games. I've seen so much shit, and I've played so much shit. Ow. I guess I didn't realize I hit him there. I've seen so much shit that I've made attempts to reconstruct what a theoretical best movies, what an updated best movies and best games list would look like. I have not done the same for worst movies and worst games. Ow. So the answer is I don't know. The answer is I legitimately do not know where it would go. But it would probably be close to the top because Home Sweet Home Alone is such a terrible, terrible film. Some people say Home Alone 4 is worse. I don't see it. Home Sweet Home Alone is like Home Alone 4 is completely incompetent, but Home Sweet Home Alone feels, maybe insidious is the wrong word, but it just feels mean-spirited. And it doesn't feel like it's aware of what it's doing with how they present Max compared to how they present the two people whose names I don't even remember that are trying to get their doll back. I really don't think it understands like what it's doing, morally speaking. Trying to present him as like the reason why the injuries and all the booby traps work in the Home Alone movies priorly is that it's all played for laughs. There's a comedic slapstick element to it. But here they're like going out of their way to show that these people are dying in like insane levels of pain and suffering, while also expecting you to root for him. It's so weird. It feels like it's trying to be an inverse Home Alone movie, where you have, because that's what I said, like theoretically doing the inverse of the Home Alone formula, where you have a kid, you have like almost like a Saw kind of movie, where you have people trying to get into a home to retrieve something that was stolen from them, and then you have this sadistic kid who's just torturing you every step of the way. There's potential in that, but that's not what they did. They wanted to hit all the same highlights of the first Home Alone movie, or the first Home Alone movies, while also trying to be super subversive and clever about it, and they just fell flat on their face in the process. So I strongly believe Home Sweet Home Alone is the worst of the Home Alone movies. Having watched all 6 of those in pretty quick succession, and then having to edit most of them. I didn't edit 4, Gugonic took care of that, made my life a lot easier by editing the 4th one for me. But I edited most of them. And holy shit, I don't ever want to look at some of that shit. I don't want to look at some of those movies ever again. My god. Genuinely. What's my favorite 2D game? Depends on if you count Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations as a 2D game. By all technicality, it is a 2D game because it's all 2D sprites, but I assume that's not what you mean when you say 2D game. So my favorite 2D game is Cuphead. Love, love, love Cuphead. Top 5 games. I don't think it'll ever be... My top 10 has undergone some changes in the last year, but my top 5 is pretty much set in stone. I would be shocked if anything managed to knock the top 5 off the list. For Mario Galaxy 1 over 2. That's fine. Have I played the original SNES Donkey Kong games? Yes. I like the first 2. I don't like the third one. I quit the third one very quickly. I liked the first 2, though. I don't love the first 2. I think I'd like them a lot more if they got a proper remaster, like an HD. Even just a widescreen port, I think would increase my enjoyment of those games tremendously. But I do like the first 2. Do I prefer the remake or the original Battle for Bikini Bottom? Vastly, vastly, vastly prefer the original. Not even close. I respect the remake a lot for bringing the original back for a new generation of people. Both for a new generation of people who don't have access to the original, and also for the people who grew up with the original, who wanted to be able to experience the game, their childhood classic, in a new way. I'm happy that it got overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. But if you want me to actually compare the two games side by side and see which one is better, the first one clears easily. The first one is the original is easily better than the remake. Even though I do still have a lot of respect for the remake. Most people dislike Zelda Water Dungeons, but Water Dungeons is usually my favorite. Oh yeah, I guess that's an example I can point to. I had heard everybody said when I was playing Ocarina of Time that, oh, he's gonna hate the Water Dungeon, the Water Temple's the worst one, Water Temple sucks. And then I played it and it was legitimately my favorite one because it felt like the most cohesive in that, more so than any other dungeon, you had to be most spatially aware of how all the different rooms and puzzles connected to each other. It felt like one giant puzzle box, and I loved that. So yeah, there are definitely instances of games with water levels that I do not despise. But there are, of course, ones that just make you want to rip your hair out. But that's the case with anything really can have instances of something which makes you want to rip your hair out. Am I excited for weapon durability in Breath of the Wild? I haven't even played Breath of the Wild, so... But, I mean, I'm not... I can't say I don't really know much about Breath of the Wild. Except that people say it's a lot different from the other Zelda games, and that, well, I guess I can't... I know that people say that the dungeons in Breath of the Wild are not that great, but that it makes up for it in its exploration. And I think that's about it. Do I know that Lego Ninjago TV series is still going? No, I don't know anything about Lego Ninjago stuff. There's a reason I skipped out on the movie, because I don't have the passion or knowledge for it in any capacity. You watched and played so much that even Toy Story 4 is probably going to be dethroned as my #1 worst. Oh, it definitely has been. Dial of Destiny knocks that clean right out. Dial of Destiny effortlessly knocked out Toy Story 4 from the top spot on my list. Well, maybe not effortlessly. I feel like you gotta try to do that. But, man, the only thing that made that night not miserable was the fact that Neil was with me for it. So having some companionship made it a less painful experience. But holy, sitting in that, because, I mean, there was solace in that we got to talk about it afterwards, but during the movie, in a crowded Dolby cinema, there is no escape. You cannot run away from the fact that you're supposed to be quiet in a theater, so you can't, like, I can't rant to him about how shit it is during the film, so I just had to stew in silence. And then when the credits roll, I just had to sit there with that sickening pit in my stomach that I felt when I watched Toy Story 4. Have you seen a Looney Tunes show? No, I haven't. Specifically the one called The Looney Tunes Show, I have not seen. What are my thoughts on Toy Story 2, the video game, the 3D one? I tried playing it as a kid, and I got motion sick very quickly, so I stopped playing it almost immediately. And I've looked up footage of it since then, and it does not look very good, so I don't think I'll ever play it. Thoughts on WALL-E? WALL-E is a masterpiece. If you're gonna pick one movie from Pixar's catalog to add to the Criterion Collection, it makes sense that it would be WALL-E. WALL-E is by far the most deserving of that. And it's weird. It's like it's one of the very few Pixar films. One that I think of only two, Ratatouille and WALL-E, were the two that I never watched as a kid. Well, no, Ratatouille I had at least seen as a kid. I saw it I've told the story many times. I saw it during summer camp before my 7th grade year. They put that on the TV, or they put that on the projector for the kids to watch during lunchtime. But for WALL-E, I never watched it. Except for, I think they showed, it was playing on the TV in the waiting area for my endoscopy when I was a kid. Or one of my many endoscopies as a kid, I should say. But I wasn't really paying, like, that close attention to it. So I may as well not have. Oh, I got an extra life there. That's nice. So I basically did watch it for the first time in 2021 before my ODST stream. Yeah, right? Yeah. I watched Ratatouille before my Halo 3 stream, and I watched WALL-E before my ODST stream. And then I talked about each respective movie at the start of those streams. One of my thoughts on the 2014 Into the Woods adaptation, it's fucking garbage and I hate it. There's a song in that movie called Agony, where the characters sing about, you know, agony. That's me watching the Into the Woods movie. I mean, it doesn't help that James Corden is playing the baker, and James Corden doing anything is just cringe. But specifically the fact that he was playing the role that I played when I was in that show as a kid certainly was not helping my viewing experience. But it just, if you want to know more about it, you can look up videos talking about how crap the Into the Woods movie is. I think Sideways does a good video talking more so about why the stage version of Into the Woods was so masterful, and in doing so demonstrates why the movie sucks. If you want a direct video talking about how much the movie sucks, you can look up Snug Boy. It's called Disney's Into the Woods: How Not to Adapt a Movie. It's such a disaster. We need a prequel to WALL-E. Guganic said it best. No, we don't. We do not. I am perfectly happy for WALL-E to stay as a self-contained movie. It does not need a prequel. It does not need a sequel. It is a self-contained, standalone story, and that is exactly how it should stay. Not everything needs to evolve into a cinematic universe. Why do I not like the Pixar theory? Because it doesn't hold up under scrutiny. There's too many glaring contradictions with it. Bob Show did a great video breaking down why the Pixar theory just doesn't hold up under weight. I tried to cover some of the heavy hitters in my Toy Story 4 series. It's like why I don't think this holds water. As for do I think there's a DreamWorks theory, I don't think there's. If there is one, I don't think it has the same traction as the Pixar theory, but also I don't really care if there is one. Thoughts on the live-action Avatar show. So I haven't watched the trailer. I refuse to watch the trailer because the showrunner's comments about how they're removing problematic aspects of Sokka and Katara's characters and how they're trying to appeal to Game of Thrones fans and not just... They're not just making a kid's show, they're making a drama that appeals to adults. You know, like Game of Thrones. And how they're gonna speed run Aang's character development, fundamentally missing the point of his character in the show about how he's a kid burdened with the responsibility of trying to save the world, but also wanting to, you know, be a kid and have fun, and having to wrestle with those two aspects of himself. And also they're, like, showing the tragedy. They're showing the massacre that was deliberately kept out of the animated show. Both because I'm assuming that the network wouldn't have let them get away with it if they wanted to show it, but also because it's way more impactful for Aang to stumble upon the aftermath of the battle, much like how in Mulan, you don't see the village burn down, you see the aftermath of the village burn down, and it's way, way more impactful to walk into that village. Like, especially because it's juxtaposed with the A Girl Worth Fighting For song. You're in such a chipper, happy mood when the song starts, and then it cuts, it just jarringly comes to a stop. The song doesn't even end in a natural place, and then it hard cuts to the burned village. That's way more impactful than if they actually showed the massacre. So, in conclusion, I don't think the showrunners have any understanding of what they're adapting, and they seem to have actually a genuine contempt for, if not the original show, then at least animation as a medium of storytelling. And that does not, I do not want to engage their version. I simply don't care. I just won't watch it. Someone suggested we do a commentary on it. I'm like, I don't want to, I actually do not want to watch this. I'm not enough of an, I'm at the line where I'm not so much of an Avatar fan to where I feel obligated to watch it just because I want to see what the new installment in the IP is. But I'm enough of a fan to know that I should stay the hell away from this at all costs and never ever look at it. If we show more violence, it's mature. Yeah, but haven't you seen the Halo show? That's how it works. The more gore you have, the more mature your story is. What are my thoughts on the idea of considering a Wall-E 2? I hope to hell they don't. I mean, I guess there's... I guess nothing's really safe with Pixar wanting to, you know, make sequels for financial stability and all that. But I have to believe that even Pixar wouldn't do something that stupid to make a sequel to Wall-E. Like, I have to believe that even they would never do that. But, you know, anything goes, I guess. I wouldn't want them to, is the point. Anyway, I'm surprised I haven't died yet by this boss, because I remember this being, a giant pain in my first playthrough. So now that I start talking about it is when I start making mistakes and losing hits. And also, I can't hit you there. That's good. Okay, this is probably not a winning run, because I just lost my companion. Now I'm going Donkey Kong only mode here, and I don't think this is gonna work out well for me. Yeah, no, especially, okay, yeah. Oh, okay, fine, okay, we got that hit. We're holding on better than I thought. We still have 2 hearts, but having the health buffer was a huge reason why I was surviving for so long, and now I do not have the health buffer anymore. Yeah, this is somewhat lasted. This is not gonna end well for me. Come on, reveal yourself to me. Okay, I did not think that was gonna. I thought for sure that was a dead run. He looks like Flounder there. He looked a lot like, I mean, I guess he kind of looks like Flounder anyway, but specifically in that shot, he looked a lot like Flounder. Do I like Big the Cat from Sonic? Froggy! Froggy, where are you? Hey, Sonic! Wanna come catch some fish in my pond? I don't know, I guess Big's cool. I don't hate Big. I hate his levels in Sonic Adventure, but I don't hate him. He's fine, he's chill, he's cool. He's big. He's Big the Cat. DreamWorks makes good sequels. Disney does not know how to make a good sequel. Oh, I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, the obvious examples to point to is Toy Story 2 and 3, but assuming we ignore Pixar and we focus exclusively on Disney animation studios themselves, Aladdin and the King of Thieves is a good sequel. I don't know about Return to Neverland. I haven't seen Return to Neverland in a while, so I don't want to make any comments about that. People say Cinderella 3 is really good. People seem to love Cinderella 3. Also, the Lilo and Stitch sequel, I think people are quite fond of. I wouldn't say they don't know how to make a good sequel. They might have more misses than hits, I guess. But they know they can do it. They have done it. They just oftentimes don't do it. Let's also not pretend that DreamWorks is infallible in the realm of sequels. What are my thoughts on Dora and the Lost City of Gold? It is a hilariously nightmare fest of a film. I don't know if it's more or less insane than Blue's Big City Adventure, but it's probably about on par in totality. I had a blast watching it in the theater. The point is, it's so bad that its target demographic left the theater. Because I've told this story before, but basically, we saw it when I was in high school, because it came out when I was in high school. When we were visiting a college somewhere, and we quickly decided that this college was not... We figured out pretty quickly that it was not a college that would be best suited for me, so we left. And then we were like, well, we have now a 3-hour block with nothing to do, because we were supposed to use this time to tour the college, and we're not there anymore, so what do we do now? So we decided to check what movies were playing, and lo and behold, Dora and the Lost City of Gold was playing. We figured, you know what? Sure, why the hell not? Let's go. And we were in the theater with a bunch of people. It was mainly parents and their kids. It's like moms, dads, and their young... It was primarily young girls who were in the theater with their families, which makes sense. That's the primary target demographic for Dora the Explorer. All of them left. Every single one of them left the theater by the time the credits... No, not even by that. By the time we got, like, to Act 2, or maybe the halfway point to be generous, they were all gone. Now, did every single one of them leave because they didn't like the movie? Or were there other circumstances? I'm sure that there were probably other circumstances that led to some of them leaving. But don't you think it's interesting that every single one of them incrementally, gradually left the theater one by one for a movie that was whose target demographic was supposed to be them, leaving us? We were the only people left in that theater. Which, I mean, it worked out nicely for us because the only thing that was stopping us from cackling uncontrollably was the fact that there were other people in there, like families with their kids that were trying to enjoy it, and we didn't want to ruin it for them. But once they left, all bets were off. So we immediately just started, we couldn't contain ourselves with how much we were laughing at how terrible the movie was. That one of the most memorable theatrical experiences of my life. Holy shit. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Dora and the Lost City of Gold. And I would say specific sequences that I'm thinking of right now, but I know that Avert and Gugonic, or at least I think Avert and Gugonic are still watching, and OJ as well. So I don't wanna reveal anything, because I do intend to show that to the commentary team one day. I do not want to spoil anything for them. I want them to experience the insanity that is that movie for themselves. So, yeah, I'll keep it vague like that for now. How's my day? Pretty good so far. I woke up this morning, recorded some LP stuff, and now I'm here playing Tropical Freeze with all of you, and it's going way better than my first playthrough. The experience of my first playthrough has made me a lot more prepared for this one, I guess. So I'm playing a lot better than I did 2 years ago. What are my thoughts on the state of Marvel? I think it's a disaster. Just completely and totally, it's an absolute disaster. Phase 4 just slowly started whittling away at the reputation Marvel had garnered over the years. I dropped off pretty quick when Phase 4 started. I was, like, WandaVision started out really promising, but then it dropped off in quality real quick. Falcon and Winter Soldier... I didn't hate it. I had some problems with it, but overall, I guess I was fine with it on first watch. Anyway, it fell apart pretty quickly on subsequent thinking about it a little bit more. Loki was the straw that broke the camel's back, where I was like, this is too much. I can't do this anymore. Of course, I did still keep up with some of the releases because FG is Well, yeah, I mean, well, this I guess is how you should know that Marvel's going down the shitter. Even FG, who used to be the world's biggest Marvel fangirl, and is the only reason I even started watching MCU movies in the first place, even she doesn't really care for them anymore. She watches some of them, maybe occasionally, but she does not keep up. She used to keep up, like, midnight launches for all the movies and shows. And we watched WandaVision together over Discord, because when WandaVision came out during the college year, so we were obviously thousands of miles apart from each other, but we still were able to watch it virtually over Discord together with the Disney Plus group watch thing. So she used to be big into the movies, and now she just isn't anymore because it's all shit. But everyone, I mean, but she was still on the train going through Phase 4. She was there for Black Widow and Shang-Chi and the Eternals and No Way Home and all that stuff. But she eventually did hit a breaking point. I hit my breaking point with Loki. I think most people hit their breaking point around the time of Multiverse of Madness and Thor: Love and Thunder, and then She-Hulk. I feel like that was the point where most people said, yeah, fuck this shit, I'm out, I can't. I refuse to subject myself to any more of this crap. But I think her drop-off point, actually, I don't know what her drop-off point was. It might have been the start of Phase 5, I'm not sure. I don't want to speak for her. I don't want to speak on her behalf for at what point she said that she just wasn't going to keep up with it all anymore. My point is that most people, it took most people a lot longer to drop off the Marvel train than I did, but I was gone pretty quick. But just seeing how much it's deteriorated since then, it's only gotten worse and worse with each passing. Quantumania is legitimately one of the worst pieces of art. Not worst movies, one of the worst pieces of art. I've described it previously as an affront to art itself, and I stand by that wholeheartedly. It's just... Calling it AI generated is too nice to it. Because not only is it painful in how it deals damage to Scott's character and people around him with how they address Scott. Cassie was fucking ruined by Quantumania. But also that's like such a small part of the movie, because most of it is just insane garbage with hideously ugly CGI. Just completely incomprehensible garbage happening constantly. I hate Quantumania. I hate it so much. Thoughts on the original Dora the Explorer? I like it a lot. I don't have the same respect for it as I do for stuff like Sesame Street and Blue's Clues. I wouldn't put it on that level as far as the amount of care that went into it as far as helping kids learn. Well, I say that, but Dora the Explorer does have, like, I guess Blue's Clues and Sesame Street covered a wider range of topics as far as teaching young preschoolers things. But Dora the Explorer was huge as far as teaching kids Spanish. Like that's a huge thing that it had going for it. And I did like watching it a lot as a kid. And pretty much until I got to middle school, all the Spanish I learned came from Dora the Explorer. That's what we call a Freudian slip, or Florida Explorer. It all came from that show. So it had that going for it. Mario and Sonic the Olympic Games is peak. I prefer the Winter Games. The original Olympic Games was alright. I prefer the Olympic Winter Games. I think that was, because that one had the career mode. You could build a team of people. And I also just preferred the games you could play in that one compared to the original Olympic Games. And I didn't keep up with any of the other Olympic Games after that. But that was, I prefer that one to the original. At least my Sonic Marathon stopped before I got to Boom Rise of Lyric. Oh yeah, I was gonna play that game. I had every intention of actually playing Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. I didn't, thankfully. But, yeah, I fully planned on LPing that game. And seeing how bad it really was. I played a little bit of it around the time that came out. And thing is, I own the game, right? That's how I played it when it came out, is I physically own a disc of that game. So I kind of do want to play it at some point, just because I own it. Or at least to try it on stream. Maybe not finish it, but just at least give it maybe like 2 or 3 hours. See how long it takes before I quit and play SpongeBob. Has Help Wanted to restore my love for FNAF? Yes. Security Breach killed my love for FNAF. The FNAF movie was so bad that it made me crave for quality Five Nights at Freddy's content, because it just reminded me of how much. It reminded me of all the things I loved about the games and how none of it was represented well in the movie. So then I decided to give Ruin a shot. Just because, like, maybe Ruin will be better than the movie. And it was. Still wasn't good, but it was better than the movie. And it was better than base Security Breach. Not that that's hard. And then I decided to play Help Wanted 2. I mean, I was always going to play Help Wanted 2. But I got more back on the FNAF train after the movie came out. And then Help Wanted 2 was so... And the reason I bring it up is because the only reason while I was always going to play Help Wanted 2, I was not always going to play Ruin. But then the FNAF movie was so bad, I was like, you know what? And I kind of said it offhand is the thing. Like, I just kind of made an offhanded comment on my Discord server. I said I was probably gonna do a FNAF marathon to make up for the crap that was the movie. And then someone asked, hey, are you gonna play Ruin? And I said, you know what? Fuck it. Why not? I'll play Ruin. And then I did. And it's a good thing I did, because if I didn't play Ruin, Help Wanted 2 would not have had the same impact on me that it did. Most of that game's major payoffs rely on... No, I'd say all of its major payoffs rely on you knowing what happened in Ruin. If you do not know what happens in that DLC, you're going to be completely lost in Help Wanted 2. And it's not going to land for you the same way that it did when I played it. So it's a good thing I played Ruin first. And I wouldn't have played Ruin first were it not for the movie. Okay, I remember this part being hard, so I need to actually try to concentrate. Okay, that actually wasn't that bad. That actually wasn't as bad as I thought. For some reason I remember that being like super, super hard, but that was fairly straightforward. Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games 2010 was your childhood. It doesn't hold that level of personal value for me, but I did play it a lot, and I do have very fond memories of playing that game. Give me all of the extra lives. I mean, not that I need them, but, you know, I kind of want to get as many extra lives as I can, just to make that number go as high as it can. I don't think I'm going to get to 99 lives before the end of the game, but I can try. I certainly can give it a try. Actually, yeah. Do I want, yeah, okay. I feel like I remember this level giving me a hard time as well. So I wanna play it safe. A lot of the specific levels in the original Tropical Freeze kind of blend together in my head, but this one I specifically remember giving me a hard time, so I want to give myself a little bit of a buffer if I can. Are we forgetting about Go Diego Go? I never really... Well, so here's the thing. My parents tell me that I liked Go Diego Go in the same way... I just don't... It's not that I don't believe them, but I don't have any memories of actually watching Go Diego Go. Like, I remember watching Dora a lot. I don't remember watching Go Diego... I have no strong feelings about Go Diego Go from when I was a kid. I mean, well, I say that. We went to a live Go Diego Go show. I remember doing that. So I guess I must have liked the show enough to want to go to that. I remember going to the live show. I just don't remember actually watching the animated TV show. I don't know, it's weird. See, I remember Go Diego Go. It just never really held the same personal value to me that Dora the Explorer did. Guess who's not showing up? Chat broke for you? Oh, is chat broken? None of the last 10 messages you wrote sent. Okay. Hey, I don't know if this will fix it, but if you're experiencing chat problems, just reset the page, refresh the page. This chat's fine on my end. I can still read everybody's stuff, but if you are currently experiencing, like, if you can't read other messages or if yours aren't sending, then refresh. Looks like it's not just Gugonic. It's Gugonic, OJ, or sorry, OJ didn't say anything. Avert, Anonymous, and Gugonic seem to all be having problems with chat. Can I read you? I can, Alex, or Alec Barton 13. I can indeed read you. Your messages are showing. For me, chat's fine. It just seems like some people in chat, you didn't even know what people were sending messages. Okay, then yeah, hey, consider this a PSA. Anyone who's listening to this and is trying to use chat and feels like it might be broken, if you are sending messages and they aren't going through, or if you're not seeing anybody else send messages, refresh the page, and that should fix it. Because for me, I'm seeing what everybody's sending, but apparently it looks like some people can't see what everyone's sending. The amount of thought and detail put into each of this game's levels is incredible. Yes, it is by far the most comprehensive and impressive and creative design for a platformer I've ever seen. Did I see your last few messages? Last message, the most recent message, well, I mean, how do I phrase this? The first message I saw from you in a while was, "Welp, chat broke for me." So anything you said between now and the time when you were talking about some water levels you really like, I did not read. So anything you said between now and then got lost to the ether, I guess. Talking about how this world also tells a story by harvesting the first few levels, being the fruit being harvested before being put into a factory and turned into juice, Jello. Yeah, there's a lot. That's another thing I never really gave much thought to, because I've just been so focused on the gameplay that I haven't really given much thought to it. But that is a really nice attention to detail, that there is narrative purpose behind all the levels that you're playing through. Oh, right, these are the ones that flip around, right? The blue ones flip around the purple, pink, reddish ones. I guess not red, maybe maroonish, maybe a better way to phrase that color, or describe that color. Back with the pizza and good news. Ooh, I do like me some good news. Pizza, not so much. Magenta, yeah, magenta's probably, that's the actual correct word to use to describe it. It's magenta colored. Wii U thoughts. I like the Wii U. I pretty much agree with everybody's problems with the Wii U. Like, all of them. But I still like the console a whole hell of a lot. Maybe just because of the memories I made playing games on it. And I certainly don't have a reason to play any of the Wii U version of games over their Switch counterparts. But I don't hate the Wii U the same way a lot of people do. Sonic Mania is a good game. Yes. I gotta replay Mania on its anniversary. I actually was planning on doing that last year for the anniversary, but those plans fell through because I didn't have time. But I would like to try to do that again this year. Because I've been meaning to replay it for a while. I just haven't had the opportunity to do so. This, that looks good. I'm just gonna follow the trail of balloons. Your support worker stopped you and told you that you'll soon be able to legally change your name. Awesome. That is very good to hear. Congratulations. That sounded sarcastic because I was stretching, but I promise you it wasn't. That's legitimately very, very awesome to hear. Happy that's going well for you. Metroid Blast from Nintendo Land in particular was a lot of fun. See, I played Nintendo Land a little bit, but I only remember 2 of the mini games from Nintendo Land. I remember the Yoshi one, where you have to draw a path on the stylus to get all the fruit. I like that one. And then I also did the one where it's like hide and seek, I think, in a skate park or something like that. Those are the only 2 I remember playing from Nintendo Land. Have I, or will I, ever play any of the Mother Earthbound games? I tried playing Earthbound, not for me. Not at all a game that appeals. Not really my kind of thing. I did give it a shot, though. Because I heard such good things about it for so long. I've been looking for an opportunity to play it, and when it finally got put to Switch online, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go, let's play. I tried it, gave up pretty quickly, unfortunately. I really wanted to like it, though. Am I going to play any of the 2D Zelda games because of the Zelda Marathon Link's Awakening is right there? So, I currently don't have any obligation to play the 2D games because I don't have them traded with anybody. But I probably will play Link's Awakening specifically because I own that game digitally. Someone bought it. I just completely missed that platform. Someone bought it for me digitally a couple years ago, so it'd be foolish of me not to play it. But I currently have no plans to do so. Mario 64 speedruns are insane. I know it has a pretty intense speedrunning community. Since the dawn of man, people have been buying Trevor Magic Zelda games to get him to play them. I overshot it again. My thoughts on people who argue that Home Alone 3 is worse than Home Sweet Home Alone. I don't know where they're coming from at all. Home Alone 3 has good stuff in it, or at the very least it has decent stuff in it. Is there anything that's even decent about Home Sweet Home Alone that wasn't ripped right from the first movie? By which I mean, obviously they pulled the Setting the Traps song from the first 2 movies, and then mixed it with some really, really sloppy editing that they probably thought was real. They probably thought the editing was really cool when they made it, like the transitions between all the different traps that are being set up. But nah, can't say I'm a fan of the editing choices in that movie. Ow. Jello is being used to make popsicles. It's awesome. Yeah, I never thought about it in that way, but now that I'm actually paying attention to the narrative context of these levels, it adds a whole new layer of understanding to the worlds that I never considered before. For fucking sake, I can't. Oh man, I lost the ability to laugh at Home Sweet Home Alone for a while because of how much of a hellscape editing that well, not editing the commentary, putting it through copyright. For those who don't know, I stayed up all night. Christmas. I had a whole. My plan was to have Home Sweet Home Alone done in time for Christmas Eve, and then I'd be done editing everything, and I'd have all of Christmas Eve to myself to just relax, watch Christmas movies, hang out with the family, do whatever. That didn't happen because it was trapped in copyright hell. So I stayed up because I still wanted to have Christmas Eve available to do things with family. I needed to get Home Sweet Home Alone done. So I stayed up all night long, continually re-rendering the Home Sweet Home Alone commentary while watching Chick Phillips' Mario Kart 8 Deluxe course ranking, which only accounted for about 2 hours of the of the midnight to 6 a.m. thing that I did. And eventually I realized this isn't gonna work, so I abandoned the plan of don't sleep at all and just stay up constantly re-rendering the video. And I adopted a new strategy, which is set it to render. It takes about 30 minutes to render, so sleep for 30 minutes while it renders, wake up, upload it, takes about 30 minutes to process, go to bed for another 30 minutes, wake up, wait for it to get blocked, then re-edit it, set it to render, sleep for 30 minutes, and then rinse and repeat that cycle all throughout the night, so I can at least get some sleep. And then it still didn't work, it still wasn't ready by the time I woke up for the last time in the morning. So then all day long, I was constantly bouncing back and forth between recording Tattletale, editing the FNAF Ruin video, and also rendering the Home Sweet Home Alone commentary. All while also dealing with just general Christmas festivities, because there were still some Christmas gifts that came in at the absolute last possible second that I had to wrap. And then my family was here, I was spending time with them. It was the most frantic and stress-inducing Christmas season I've ever had in my life, but thankfully it's over now. But anyway, the point of that story is because of all that, there was no humor to be found in Home Sweet Home Alone anymore. But now that I'm distanced from that sync, the editing of that whole montage is absolutely a fever dream. My god. Do I think that the Switch 2 will come out this year? I think there's a chance. I think there's a decent chance of that happening. Maybe not till like late in the year, but I think there's a solid chance. I did vote that in Avert's poll, which, by the way, if you didn't know, Avert had a whole video on his channel talking about the next Nintendo console that I can't link right now because I'm playing this game. But if someone else would like to do it, then feel free to go ahead. Go check out his channel in that video. I voted that on his poll. That he asked about when he thinks when people think the new console is going to come out. You think Home Alone 3 is underrated? You can't say the same about Home Sweet Home Alone. Yeah, I guess because a lot of people think Home Alone 3 is like terrible, and I don't think it's terrible. I think it's fine. It's a perfectly fine movie with some good aspects to it. So I guess I would call it underrated because a lot of people just dismiss it as being on par with the rest of the Home Alone garbage sequels, which it's definitely not. What was my reaction when the Owl House got canceled? So when the Owl House got canceled, I didn't know it was happening. I didn't realize that the Owl House even existed until well into its third season. Well, okay, not well into its third season. The first episode of season 3 hadn't come out yet. But not until, like, just about 2 months before Thanks to Them premiered was when I found out the Owl House existed. I don't know how I missed it for all those years, but I had no clue. It wasn't in my brain at any point in time. So when it was first canceled, I didn't know what was going on. When I was told about it afterwards, I was like, yeah, that sure does sound like Disney. But now that I fully understand the context surrounding its cancellation, it just makes me mad. Shafe's angry rant in that video about OG Mario Kart 8 battle mode is decidedly hilarious. Yeah, Shafe is indeed a very good content creator. I like his videos a whole lot. Apparently his video ranking his favorite movies of 2023 came under fire on Twitter from someone who was like, "This is the absolute state of YouTube film criticism," and whatever. It's Twitter, so I don't care, but it is annoying to see that kind of stuff. You recently watched all the Star Wars episodes, all the Indiana Jones movies, and the Home Alone movies, and the Star Wars sequel trilogy. That's the Home Alone made you want to die. Yeah, that is the standard reaction to watching those. I think this boss also, I remember, giving me problems because I couldn't jump on the ice blocks in time. But I'm keeping Dixie on hand and also having. I keep putting on the green balloons. I don't think I've even had to use Actually, I might have had to use it once or twice, I forget. But I don't think it's been essential for any of the bosses. But I have it on just in case I slip off the side. The extra points definitely help here. But also having Dixie. Having Dixie on hand makes it pretty easy to... Ow! Okay, let's not lose her. Let's not lose her. As long as you have Dixie, it's pretty easy to jump on top of the ice blocks. I think I just probably lost Dixie early in the battle, which made it hard to land on them properly. There's this huge brawl with the boulder with the heavy rock music because you accidentally knocked his popsicle into the pool. Yeah, it's kind of... It reminds me of Over the Hedge at the beginning, when the whole movie happens because RJ took the Spuddies can out of Vincent's paws, and then the Axie accidentally knocks the wagon into the road and it gets run over by a truck. Absolutely demolished. Oh my lord, I forgot he did that. I forgot he did that. I forgot he launched them at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Oh, and then, no, this one, yep, okay, I remember that. I remember that. I remember the fake out where he launches one at like 2 miles an hour to make you think you're safe, and then he launches one at Mach 10. I remember that. Come on. Nope, okay, I think this might be a missed opportunity. Yeah, I'm not gonna get to him, okay. Couldn't hit him that time. Could not hit him on that run. Whoop. Oh shit, I don't know why I rolled into that. I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming and I still rolled into it. Oh, don't fall. Okay. I haven't been counting. Is this the final hit? Okay, it is. The bosses are going way better this time than they did in my original playthrough. By a considerable margin. I'm still worried about, well, I would say I'm worried about the final boss, but also, judging by how these other bosses have gone, I don't know that I should be worried about the final boss. I feel like that might actually not be as bad as I fear it could. What are my thoughts on what the fuck is a Choo Choo Charles? I have never heard of that before, so I do not have any feelings on Choo Choo Charles. Do I have any intention of doing an Over the Hedge commentary? If I ever did something with Over the Hedge, I would probably make a full praise video for it. Just because I see that movie come under criticism a lot for being kind of meh, or in some cases people say it's outright terrible. So I might want to come to its defense one day. I don't think I do a commentary for it though. I did not intend to hit A there. That was a mistake. Do I think Let It Go is overrated? No. I never really jumped on the Let It Go sucks bandwagon. But I also never really jumped on the Let It Go bandwagon the other direction. Like, I've always really liked the song, but I wasn't blasting it non-stop. I also never heard it get blasted non-stop. I don't know, I kinda missed the whole Let It Go dominates the world thing that I've seen people complain about so often. It's a horror game released in 2022. Maybe I played it before. I have not. I have not heard the phrase Choo Choo Charles at any point in my life before today, I don't think. Like, genuinely, I'm not even trying to be demeaning towards it. I have not, I don't know what it is. No idea what Choo Choo Charles is. Tarzan's a Disney movie that has Phil Collins music. Yes. Haven't seen it, but I know it does have Phil Collins music. Warner Bros. Forced me to let go Lego of the commentary. Aha! Comedy. Avert someone stealing your job as pun master. Better do something about it, I don't know. Upgrade your pun skills on the skill tree or something. Many YouTubers have played it. I'm sure they have. I'm sure YouTubers have played a lot of games that I don't know about. I also don't really... Thinking about it, I don't really watch... I don't know why I jumped there. I don't really watch gaming YouTubers as much as I used to. That was like the main thing that I watched when I was a kid in middle school. I pretty much watched exclusively that kind of content on YouTube. And I still keep up with some of them, but like just that I've been watching for a while, like Thomas J. Ashwell. Obviously Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, the big ones like that. But for the most part, I don't really watch... There's other things I watch on YouTube. So, it's not unbelievable that I would have missed, something like that. What do I think is the worst FNAF game outside of Security Breach? Special Delivery, and it's not even close. Special Delivery is just a joke of a game. It's a crappy AR game. It can barely even be called a game, honestly. Like, I don't even know what it's just lame. Lame. You point your phone at the dark corner of your room, some glowing eyes appear, and then you tap the screen to shock the animatronic, and woohoo, you have a new animatronic. It's the dumbest thing ever. I don't even think that's controversial. I feel like everyone pretty much agrees that Special Delivery just sucks, right? Like, find me one, I'm sure, well, okay, statistically, I'm sure there's at least some person that, like, loves Special Delivery, and it's, like, their favorite thing ever. Law of averages, someone out there has to love it. But I feel like most people are in agreement that the game sucks ass. You still watch Markiplier, but that's really about it. You watch him mainly out of respect. Still got it. Make no mistake. Yeah. That's actually something I like about both Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. I feel like they've grown up with their audiences. And that when they first started out, they were both super hyper, super loud all over the place. Because that was the meta of YouTube gaming commentary at the time. But now that they've made their fortune on YouTube, they don't, like, neither one of them, they're tremendously successful, and they're in a position in life where they fortunately don't have to keep up with the YouTube game anymore to be financially stable, which is what allows Markiplier to do creative things like Heist with Markiplier, In Space with Markiplier, and of course now he's doing Iron Lung. Jacksepticeye has his coffee business and things like that. And because of that, their YouTube, I feel like, feels a lot more authentic and genuine than it ever did before. Not to imply that it never felt genuine, but it's like, clearly Markiplier in his LP videos was his persona that he was amplifying for the sake of the video, as was Jacksepticeye. Whereas now it feels a lot more true to, a lot closer to their real personalities, if that makes sense. And of course, there's always going to be a performative element to it, no matter what. Like, you're on YouTube, you're performing, you are performing in front of an audience of people. No matter, you can say that it's not, but there is always, even if it's just subconsciously, there is always a performative element to it when you know you have a camera on you. But I feel like in the same, it's like when you're a kid, you like all that loud, bombastic stuff of yelling at all the animatronics and that type of YouTube reaction. But growing up as an adult, you learn to appreciate the mellower nature that Markiplier and Jacksepticeye have sort of become over the years. And I like that. I like that a lot. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl and Taylor Swift. Oh, yeah, the Super Bowl happened. The sports ball team beat the sports ball team. Also, I guess Taylor Swift was there. I don't care. I don't care about sports ball. What are my thoughts on Weird Al and his music? I like his songs, and I like his performance as Milo in Milo Murphy's Law. My Own Eyes, Tacky, those kinds of songs. Quite fond of. This level is based off of Beach World from Return. Yeah, you mentioned that that's also something I was too frustrated when I first played this game to even think about that. But yeah, that's something I always love full circle stuff in any media, games, stories, movies, anything. Stories, games, shows, movies, anything like that. Bringing things full circle is always a surefire way to win me over. Part of the reason why I love Halo 3's ending so much. But I never even realized that about this game. I always thought it was cool that you do go back to DK Island, which is where the returns took place. In a sort of similar way to how in New Super Mario Bros. You end the game at Peach's Castle instead of starting in the Mushroom Kingdom. But I was never consciously aware of how you're going around the islands to all the different worlds from Returns, and each level is themed around one of those worlds. You really hope Iron Lung gets a theatrical release internationally. Can someone look up if that's the case? Because I actually don't know if, I feel like I looked this up as to whether it was going to be released theatrically internationally, and I thought the answer was yes, but I don't actually know. So if someone can look that up, I would appreciate it, just so we know. Because I know it's at least getting a theatrical release domestically. I don't know if it's getting one internationally. I hope it is. I imagine it probably is, but I honestly don't know. I just know that it's happening, and the fact that it's happening itself is in and of itself really awesome. I'm really happy for Markiplier. What's my most anticipated movie release? I think probably Kung Fu Panda 4. I hope they don't screw it up, because Kung Fu Panda 3, for all of its problems, was a really solid note to end the trilogy on. I really, really hope they don't screw up Kung Fu Panda 4. I'm not even that emotionally invested in Kung Fu Panda as a series, but I still like the movies. Sorry, my throat's starting to dry out. So I'm hoping it's good. I'm very much hoping that it ends up being good. Also, this is going to be close. I am cutting it real close for comfort. I'm surprised I made it out of that alive. I was skidding. I was flirting with the bottom of the screen there. It's the reason I don't like MatPat anymore. So I kind of went over some of the reasons in my Toy Story 4 series for things MatPat has done that I'm not too fond of. But the thing is, in both versions of my my Toy Story 4 series, I don't think it's accurately representative of how I feel about MatPat. Also, I'm using up all my Crash Kart series. Is this the level that I'm thinking of? Or am I misremembering? I hope I'm not remembering this incorrectly. There's one of these levels is a Rambi the Rhino level. Is this it? No, I don't know. This isn't the one. Oh wait, this might be a minecart level though. No, it's a bear level. Okay. So I remembered incorrectly. This wasn't the level I was thinking of, but it's good I put him on anyway because I need the Crash Cards for this. Because I also remember this being hard. But I think the one that gave me the most problems was the Rhino level. So I probably should have actually saved these for that level, but you know what? It worked out anyway. It worked out anyway. Because I've already used up one of my crash cards. And again, gonna be ignoring chat temporarily. Like I said, I'm not gonna be reading any new messages for this level because I need to concentrate, but I can at least talk about what I was talking about before. Both my Toy Story 4, both the original series and the supercut, neither one is accurately representative of how I really feel about MatPat, because my first video, I made it sound like he was an infallible god who I have undying respect for. But the second time, I overcorrected in the opposite direction, because I got a lot of comments, people saying like, what? Don't you know all the things MatPat has done? And I'm like, what has he done? And then I looked into it and I'm like, oh, that's not, I don't like the things I'm seeing here. And then when I did that, I got comments saying like, wait, what did MatPat do? So now, what I really feel about MatPat is that he was like a huge part of my childhood in terms of watching his theories growing up, and it's undeniable that he's done tremendous work for St. Jude and the YouTube platform as a whole, as sort of being an ambassador and having people at YouTube he can talk to and sort of be the voice of people and trying to communicate people's frustrations, as far as, and also his own business of helping other creators with their channels. He's just done some things that I'm not too happy with. But it seems like apparently I learned that like the thing with Autism Speaks, I think he realized he just didn't have all the information about that organization, and then once he did, he stopped supporting them. So I jumped both my Toy Story 4 series, I didn't have all the information, so I jumped the gun on my assessment of him. So if you want my actual, like, honest thoughts on him, is that he's done some things I'm not fond of, but I don't think those things make him, or like, are entirely informative of who he is as a person. And it's undeniable that he had a huge impact on YouTube, internet culture as a whole, and especially my childhood specifically. And I don't like the fact that every time he trends on Twitter, I'm like, what did he say in a theory video now? And it's always just like, everyone collectively just gangs up on whatever his new FNAF theory is, which I just roll my eyes at. Yeah, I am sad that he's leaving. Him stepping down is sort of reminiscent of Steve leaving Blue's Clues. Anyway, I need to buy more of these, because I misremembered which level was which, and I'm definitely going to need those for later. So yeah, I am sad that MatPat's stepping down from the internet. I'm definitely going to be there for his grand, because I was sad. I was sad when because honestly, it's not even really like I grew up watching his theories, but that wasn't really what I got the most enjoyment out of. The thing I got the most enjoyment out of was watching GT Live. The banter and the chemistry that Matt and Steph had playing games together was so heartwarming and so endearing and so entertaining. I love the back and forth they had with Jason, #BlameJason. When Chris came into the picture, that was good too. Just the dynamic that the four of them had together, I love that so much. I watched that religiously. All the games they played, their playthroughs of Doki Doki Literature Club, Emily is Away 2, FNAF World, Until Dawn, I have such fond memories of all of that, so... And honestly, while I don't watch his game theories or film theories or anything like that anymore, I do regularly watch his food theories. Even though I'm, like, so not a food connoisseur, I have such a restricted palette for what I like to eat. I don't know, I find his breakdowns of what would theoretically be the perfect burger fascinating. I like him pushing the limits of what he can, through what household appliances he can make food in. I like him running experiments and like putting restaurants through their paces, like the most recent one he did, calculating what the most consistent avenue of getting food through a drive-through or through self-serving mobile ordering kind of things. That's mainly what I watch nowadays. And it's sad to see him go. It is most certainly sad to see him go. Thoughts on Big City Greens? Never seen it. I don't really have anything to say. I have no feelings about the show. I do, however, have feelings about some of the Big City Greens fans, because Big City Greens, they had an official announcement, like, confirming the Big City Greens movie's coming out in the summer, and my reaction to it was, cool. That's good for Big City Greens fans. And then I checked the comments, and, well, no, I didn't check the comments. I saw a quote tweet, saying, "You'll never guess what types of fans are pissed about this in the comments." And I rolled my eyes like, oh good, it's gonna be one of these posts, is it? But then I scrolled through the comments, and wouldn't you know it, I saw like 90% people saying derogatory things about Owl House fans, saying Owl House fans when an actually good show gets a movie and not their baby cartoon for kids, or just saying like Owl House fans saying, how can I make all this about me? And I saw all like a million of those comments, and basically none from actual Owl House fans saying, why is this getting a movie when the Owl House isn't? Which, yes, is a dumb thing to say, which is probably why only 3 people said it, and the rest of the comments on that thread were people saying, I can't believe Owl House fans make this all about themselves. Like, you're fighting ghosts. You're making people up to get mad about, or at least you are hyper-focusing on 3 people, and as a result, it's now 90% people in that thread are just inventing people to get mad about, and the actual people they're mad about represent 10%, if that, of that thread. So I guess that was my thoughts on Big City Greens. I think that might be the reason as to why the aesthetics of the world is so bland. It fits to show off once luscious, beautiful Thika Island is turned into a boring, bland snowland. And yeah, I appreciate narratively that is the reason why it looks this way. It still, compared to the rest of the world, it is the least vibrant, which is why it's the least visually appealing to look at. Have I listened to any songs by Moody Blues? I don't know. I don't think I know who that group is. What's so special about Steve? He was the best of the hosts. I don't know, he knew exactly where to look in the camera, I guess. Like, I don't know if I can describe exactly what about it made him so special, but when they were doing, because they were doing, the way they found the hosts for Blue's Clues in the first place was they did focus group testing on kids, and they would show kids the episodes, and overwhelmingly, the kids all responded positively in a way like they had never seen before to Steve. They just connected with him. There was something about, I don't know if it was just the tone of his voice or where knowing the exact right spot to look into the camera. I think it does come down to a tone of voice and like speaking, because I think he talked about this on a podcast once, and like when he was giving, or no, I don't know if it was him. It might have been Josh from the new Blue's Clues show recounting the advice that Steve and Joe had given to him, and I think he talked about how there's a very delicate balance to strike in terms of asking. I don't want to butcher the quote because it was a really good quote. But it was something about asking the viewer for help in a way that doesn't feel condescending. And making sure they always feel included in every situation, every conversation. I wish I could find, I might try to look for that interview and that podcast after this. Because there is a specific reason oh no, I saved it somehow. I thought I would screw that up. Somehow I did not. The very specific reason why Steve went over so well with kids, and why him leaving was such a huge deal. Have I played any Plants vs. Zombies games? No, but I've played similar games. I have definitely played similar games. I've played games in that style before. Definitely gonna need a green balloon for this one. If it's the level I think it is, I'm definitely gonna need a green balloon for this. Yep, this is the one I'm thinking of. Huge Big City Greens fan, and you have no affiliation with any of these toxic Big City Green fans. Oh yeah, so I definitely don't want. I don't want to say Big City Greens sucks because the fans suck. I also don't want to say all Big City Greens fans suck because this one vocal minority is the way that they are. It's just the people in that thread, specifically in that thread, made my brain want to explode. You remember me loving this level? Oh yeah, I'm sure I did, but, like, I mean that because of how precarious this one is, with all the, it being called a cliffside slide and all that, and how at risk you are constantly falling off, I wanted to have the green balloon as a safety net. Didn't help me there previously, but I still want to have it just in case. And yes, I do remember coming away from this quite quickly from this level. Disney's making a new Tron movie. I don't. Maybe I heard about that? Not sure. I don't really follow Tron news, so if I did see a headline like that, it rolled off me pretty quickly. Did I see the Loud House fandom? No. I don't know anything about the Loud House sports fandom, so I won't comment on it. Disney is making... Oh, I already answered that one, sorry. What are my thoughts on Baby's Day Out? I don't know what that is, so I haven't seen it. I have no thoughts on Baby's Day Out. Bunch more levels that look like this with the black silhouettes with different colors in the back, most of them secret levels. Yeah, I really like this aesthetic choice for the levels. It's nice to know there are more of them. Looking forward to checking them out when I play the secret levels someday. They made the songs, Your Wildest Dream, Story in Your Eyes, Now You're Out There Somewhere, Isn't Life Strange. I don't recognize any of those. Yeah, I should probably actually try to concentrate if I have any hope of getting through this, because clearly this level's kicking my ass. Getting close to the end though, because I got the G letter. When you get the G letter, that means you're coming up on the end. Oh, I did not intend to get launched that far. Man, I really love how these levels look. I legitimately adore the style of this. How simplistic and yet still vibrant all the colors look. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. You recall me mentioning how I liked Men in Black 3. You also really like it, but you still have trouble understanding how JB bores in the comics and the ideas. I am the wrong person to go to for intellectual discourse on Men in Black. I've only seen Men in Black 3 once, and it was a very long time ago when I was a kid. The first movie is a little clearer in my head, because I rewatched the first movie before FG and I went to go see Men in Black International. I wanted to watch all three, but I didn't have time, so I settled for watching the first one again. I don't really remember the specifics. I remember nothing about Men in Black 2, except for, like, a vague idea of what the climax looks like. Men in Black 3 is a little clearer in my head, because I remember really liking Men in Black 3, and the ending especially, I was like, oh, that's a really nice ending. That's a really, really nice way to end things. But if you were looking for me to give specifics, I am not going to be of any use to you, because I have not seen it in a very long time. Do I plan on playing the Return Sea levels as well? It's not on my priority list, because obviously this game had its anniversary, and of course the secret levels were traded to me. So I have something more of a reason to come back to this game. But I have been considering giving Returns another go. seeing if I hate the final world as much as I hated it the first, because I hated the final world in both games, and so far this has not been anywhere near as painful as I remember it being in my first playthrough. So maybe I'll think the same of the final world in Returns. So I kind of want to give that... Oh, I also want to play that game without motion controls. See how that changes the experience. So, I'll say a maybe for now. Should play the 3DS version of Returns. Aha! Look at that! The green balloon finally came in handy. It might have come in handy earlier, but I forget if it did. I was actually paying attention. And now the green balloon came to save my ass. They added a final world that wasn't in the original. I will definitely keep that in mind. That's a big ol' eyeball. That's what that is. I remember this one being... Okay. Yeah, I remember this one being very hard. Because of how many electric zappy things are every which way. Ow. I don't like when I lose my friend. I need my friend. Oh, I lucked into that. Ow. Okay. Surprised I fumbled my way through the end of that level. I completely fumbled my way through that. Thoughts on Miraculous Ladybug? It's terrible. FG forced me to watch the first episode of it, and I wanted to purge it out of my memory as soon as it was done. Okay, so this, I think this is the one, right? I'm pretty sure Volcano level, okay, yeah, this is the one. This is the one I'm thinking of. This is the one where we have Rambi the Rhino. I remember this being a huge wall when I played it first time, so I need all the crash guards. I need every crash guard, release every crash guard we have. Also, give me Diddy. Give me Diddy, give me strength. You did not, ow! Well, that, you know, that's a great start. That's a fantastic start. You don't like this one? I didn't like it either. Maybe I'll like it more this time now that I have 3 crash guards. Oh, by the way, I also like that if you die with your power-ups, you don't lose them. You still get to keep them when you revive. I really, really like that. That's cool. So they're not immediately wasted just because I fell into the lava. I'm probably going to be quiet for most of this because I'm positive it's going to take me a while if I don't. Okay. Dixie saved my ass there. I just should have stopped. And again, still got my crash cards. No Dixie, which sucks. But I still have my crash cards. Also, thinking about it, I'm starting to realize that crash cards may not actually help me here because I think those are more helpful for the minecart levels and the barrel levels where you actually get, like, the determining factor there is if you get hit while the vehicle's in motion. Whereas here, the main thing that kills you is falling into the lava, for which the crash guard isn't gonna save me, so I think I might have actually just blown all these for nothing. Oh well. Yes, fine. We'll be alright. I think that's where I died the first time. I got very lucky with the timing on that one. And then I blew it. Flew too close to the sun. Started trying to go too fast. Did I ever see SNL? No. Oh, well. Missed that jump. Gotta nail the timing on this. Going too fast. Stop. I almost didn't jump in time there. Oh, okay. If I can get to the end, I'd appreciate that. I haven't made it to the end yet. I only got O so far. Oh my god, I probably should have died there. Okay, that's fine. I hit the checkpoint. That was close. I think I launched myself into the wall and then rebounded back into the barrel immediately afterwards, is I think what happened there. And then, well, that time I just jumped right into the lava. What movies from John Hughes have I seen so far? I think the only other thing I saw is Uncle Buck. I'm not super intimately familiar with his catalog, though, so I might have seen other things and I just don't realize it. I don't know, name some John Hughes movies and I'll tell you if I've seen them. I haven't extensively looked into his catalog like I have for other filmmakers. But to answer the question of have I watched the Dark Knight trilogy yet, yes, I have in fact watched the Dark Knight trilogy. Batman Begins is good, Dark Knight's amazing, Dark Knight Rises is terrible. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? No. I always hear that phrase get referenced, but I haven't seen the thing which it stems from. Okay, new checkpoint. Oh, we did Christmas Vacation? Okay, so I've seen that. I've seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Which I like. I don't love it, but I like it. I think it's a pretty good movie. Very funny. Very, very funny. But I wouldn't watch it over any of the Home Alone... Well, okay. I wouldn't watch it over either Home Alone 1 or 2. But I would certainly take it over probably any of the Home Alone sequels after that point. That is, however, I think the only vacation movie I've seen. I haven't seen any of the other ones. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Okay, that I have seen. In fact, I've seen that one probably too many times, because that was always the film that teachers would show to students when I was in school, both in middle school and high school. The default, for whatever reason, the default film that they would show to students is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And that was after my dad had originally shown it to me. So I watched it once at home with my dad, and then way more times in school. So I think I'm all Ferris Bueller's Day outed. Day off, day out, I don't know. You know what, I've had enough of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, is my point. Okay, here we are. This is it. Boss Volcano Dome, we cleared. This is what I was really worried about, is Meltdown Mayhem, which is the Rambi the Rhino level, and then this one right here, the final boss of the game. I don't remember how long this took me in my original playthrough, but I know it made me very mad. Boss really isn't that bad. Yeah, so that's the thing. I looked back at footage from my finale, and the boss doesn't seem... The only part that seems like it might be a problem is the very end, when the platform starts flying up into the air, and then when he starts launching the giant ice statues at me. That, I still don't know how to deal with that properly. Everything else seems perfectly manageable. I just kept... The problem is I kept missing him. I would... When he does his charging attack, I would try to land on his head, and I would always miss. I could never actually land on his head properly. You think I need to make a list of every film I've seen at some point? Yeah, I do. It's just thinking about doing that is really overwhelming for me because I can't even... I don't even know where I would begin. Because, like, there's so many... I don't know how I would begin to start categorizing something like that. Favorite traps from the good ones, 1, 2, and 3. So from 3, my favorite is when the guy yeets himself down the stairs. When his shoes are still stuck in the Mega Bloks boxes. Home Alone 2, my favorite is the paint cans on the stairs. Specifically the iron bars that he yeets down at him afterwards. Home Alone 1, I think my favorite is I think probably the zip line. Just it's literally the fuck go back meme. Go back, go back. Have I seen The Breakfast Club? Yes. I don't remember much about it, but I have seen The Breakfast Club. And I think I liked it. Do I prefer the Dark Knight or the Batman? I think I still prefer the Batman. But they're both really good. Okay, if this show could stop moving. Oh wow. You're just gonna be difficult, aren't you? You couldn't dodge that one, could you? Remind you how seamlessly the level design integrated with the world design? Oh yeah, absolutely. That's one thing that, I mean, it kind of seems unfair to compare this game to the new Super Mario Bros. Games. But the thing with that game is that while I do appreciate how in New Super Mario Bros. U, the whole world feels interconnected with each land is seamlessly leading into the next, the levels themselves sort of just feel disparate and disconnected from the world. Just like, here's another doll on the ground that you can enter a level in. Whereas here, it all plays into the background, and each world has its own running narrative thread going through it. John Hughes wrote the 90s live-action 101 Dalmatians movie. I haven't seen that. I've only seen the original animated 101 Dalmatians. And I won't watch Cruella. You can't make me. I refuse. I didn't grab him. Well, I mean, I guess I got a heart out of that. I was trying to grab him there, but it worked out because he gave me a heart, so that's fine. If you stand... Hold on. I'm gonna wait for him to stop charging at me. What happens now? Oh, okay, this. How do I, first one to drop, I think, and then float over? Yeah, okay. It's the first one to go up is also the first one that's gonna come back, so you just hover over that one and wait. Level 2 of World 5, stand the end long enough you can see the pigment eaten by the plant enemy from the next level. That is a cool detail. And, like, I'm sure you could say that these are all just really small details that aren't really that important. But it shows that they care. It shows an attention to detail, that they care about the small things as much as they care about the big things. And all the little details, in the same way that a lot of small problems can add up to a death by 1,000 cut situation. Refining a lot of those smaller details and putting effort into making them solid helps the whole game feel a lot more cohesive. Also, I got a double hit there. Sweet, double prizes. Okay, more charging, I think. Yep, more charging. Ow. I'm missing again. Okay. Get to the left. Jump and hover. Oh my god, this. Okay, alright. Duck and jump. That's what the word said, just duck and jump. Duck and jump. Yep, that sure is how that works. Oh my god. I do not remember getting this many hearts in my first playthrough. I don't think that counted. I got 2 hits last time. I think that one just bounced off him. I don't think I got a second hit there. Oh shit, okay, I don't know how I did that. That was like 3 million times easier than my first playthrough. Holy shit. Why was that so hard originally? Wow, okay. We're an hour ahead of schedule. I allocated 4 hours for today's stream. I allocated 4 hours to play this game from start to finish without doing any of the side stuff, and I have an hour to spare. Nah, fuck off, we're not. An extra hour means I have an extra hour to do other things, not an extra hour to play this game. I want to save all the bonus content for its own separate stream. We have an hour? No. I have an hour. We do not have an hour. I'm the one with the hour. I get to use that hour however I choose. This flew by? Yeah, I really did not expect to get through the game this fast. In fact, if anything, I was worried I was, like, underestimating how long it might take to beat it. Because, the 4-hour runtime of my LP is obviously just the finished cut of the episodes, and that doesn't count how many times I died in each episode. But the thing there is that because I played better, like a lot better here than I did originally, we got through the game so much faster. I don't know why that final boss was such a hard, so problematic the first time I played this. I think when I rewatched that part of the finale, I think it boils down to just the fact that I kept, like, missing. And when I tried to jump on its head, I kept barely missing. Updated score out of 10. I don't think there's anything about this that would make me not give it a 10. I guess, I mean, because, like, one of the things I had a problem with is that Cranky Kong is kind of not useless, but I think there's like 2, maybe 3 levels where he can be useful, and for the most part it's always either Diddy or Dixie, and even then, I feel like the difference in usefulness between Diddy and Dixie is so minute that it doesn't justify the existence of one over the other. Oh, also Funky Kong. I really don't like that Funky Kong is locked behind easy mode. I wish you could play as Funky Kong without having to play as the easy characters. I don't like that the dichotomy is you play the game normally, or you play as Funky Kong, but you get baby mode. But other than that, like, I really don't have anything to complain about. Especially with Avert talking about all the things I never really noticed, like how the world design, there's a narrative running through a lot of the worlds that helps it feel like a cohesive adventure rather than just a series of disconnected, disparate levels. And it still is the most creative level design I've ever seen in any platform where I've played. It's unbelievable, honestly. Sorry you're late. There's always someone in all my streams that comes in, like, in the final 10 minutes and says, hey, what'd I miss? It's like, well, you missed the stream. We've reached the credits now. We have conquered Tropical Freeze. None of the platforms float everything in level other than collectibles have conics being where they are. Yeah, like in the first thing I think of is World 5, all the platforms that are floating in the air, are getting launched up by something, like one of the machines that keeps chopping up the fruit. So there's a reason why they're all floating up in the air. Which, by the way, I don't think there's a problem inherently if you want to make a game that is strictly focused on gameplay. And you don't take that time to really have reasoning behind why things like platforms are floating. But it is nice when they do take that extra time to flesh out those details and provide explanations for why those things are happening. It's a lot easier to get immersed into a world when you aren't. When it feels less artificial, I guess. Retro Studios is a really good, play another game from them. Mayhaps. What did Retro Studio do again? Are they the Metroid Prime developers? I think that's what they are. Metro Prime, yeah, I figured. Okay. Well, I hate to cut it short, but I do want to make as much use of that extra hour that I got as I can. So thank you all for coming out today. Thanks for joining me in my replay through of Tropical Freeze. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing me play through the game again. I'm glad I came back to give it another shot, because I came to appreciate it a lot more than I did the first time. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time, and hope to catch you all soon for whatever it is you decide to watch next. Have a good day, everybody.